All right, what's up, guys? We are officially here for the 100th podcast episode. We've got everyone. What the heck is this guy doing? Look, you invite this guy in the studio, and he's trying to poke me.
Invite? Dude, this is my studio. I don't know what you're talking about.
Please, I don't know about that one.
I didn't know Will turned into a pirate. He's just trying to steal our studio.
Hold on. Give me an eye patch. You know, we get
ever since those pirates tried to steal his ADV bags.
Oh, dude.
Now he's poaching my studio.
He said, I'm about that life.
I'm the captain now.
All right, if you guys are listening, Will is here in person in the studio. We've obviously got Isaac.
Yup.
It is crazy that we are at 100 episodes.
It is absolutely crazy.
There's 100 weeks of doing this.
When we first started this, we didn't even know if this would go past episode 1.
No, we didn't.
In fact, I think we probably didn't think it was going to go past episode 1.
I knew we would get at least 1 or 2 more at the very least. I was like, okay,
sure,
maybe Chris will like me enough to continue this. No,
I mean, that's fair. It is kind of crazy how fast we hit it off. Like, if you think about it, we basically didn't know each other before besides YouTube.
Yes.
You came. Imagine like our personalities just didn't mesh and we were just stuck together for like a week.
Yeah.
Dude.
Well, I mean, we weren't. I was. Look, you were as afraid as much as I was. I came here for 2 weeks. I booked an Airbnb for 2 weeks and a rental car for 2 weeks, and I was dead broke. And I was like, well, at least I'll have a trip to Minneapolis. That's what I was thinking.
You know, you've reached pure desperation in life when you're like, I'm gonna take the last money I have to go see this guy with a nasally voice.
A random stranger from YouTube.
Yes.
Will really threw a Hail Mary.
I really did, and I
and
scored.
Then he caught it,
I caught my own Hail Mary.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, Chris, you were very safe. You're like, let's meet at a public place. Let's go to the Mall of America and see what this kid's
Oh yeah,
really
that's right.
about.
We did meet at the mall first.
That's funny because I thought about that when you picked Will up for this trip and I saw that you guys went straight to the mall. I was like, all over again.
We needed food.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think it's crazy that we're actually at 100 episodes, especially because I think the statistic, I should have looked it up before this, but it's something like most podcasts don't even make it past like 7 episodes. And if you make it past 7, you're in a reasonably high % of podcasts. So I'd love to see the stat
For 100.
once you pass 100.
Oh, what it's like?
Yeah.
Or what the stats are?
I mean, there's got to be not that many.
I
Pretty
don't
small.
think I've ever been more consistent at something in my life than like this podcast.
Well, you are definitely consistent because you've been in every single like episode,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Even like the solo ones, I've missed probably a handful.
Only a handful.
Yeah.
Like not that many.
Yeah, but for the majority of it, yeah, we recorded every Sunday.
This has got to be the only pickleball podcast with 100 episodes. Do you think?
I think.
No way.
No, there might be one,
Who else?
and I can't remember
Tyson?
who.
No.
No, Tyson's
There's
not
no way
past
as 100
for sure.
No.
But there might be one because I thought I remembered just a long time ago seeing one. But yeah, I don't know.
One
Either
of. The only, if not one of.
regardless, it's still very cool. We
Consistency.
made it to 100.
Yeah, no,
it's
no.
very cool.
We're
Super
the most
exciting.
consistent people out there. Maybe not on the pickleball court, but at least in the studio.
In the studio where
In
it
the
counts.
studio.
I can promise you I'm not the most consistent on the pickleball court. Okay.
Yeah.
Before we do the rest of this, so our podcast like analytics software was able to break down, which hopefully you haven't peeked at it yet, what our top cities were for the podcast. I've already seen all these, so I'm going to try and have you guys guess it in order. So
In
this
order?
is city
Okay.
and state.
Are you just giving
Oh,
us like
city
we have to
and state.
guess both? Or are you giving us like a list?
Tell you what, I'll let you just guess the state.
Give us like
Okay, yeah,
top
guess the state.
5.
No, it's
No?
it's the top 10 states, and I want to see if you
Top
guys
10
get.
states. Okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
So you're going 1 to 10.
1 to 10. Well, my 1, I feel like it has to be California, right?
What about you?
I say
Yeah,
California.
I would say California as
California's
well.
got to be number 1. Every time I've been to California, people are, or ever.
Oh my
you've
God,
been
it's
there.
Chris from the pickleball studio.
Can
I get your autograph?
Every PPA I go to, everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, it's Chris." I kid you not. There's got to be at least 50 or 60 people out there who've taken pictures with me, thinking I'm you.
There's no way it's 50 or 60. I
would
believe,
bet.
I'd believe 15, but 50 to
No,
60.
it's more.
This guy let it go to his head.
Okay.
You put him on a couple
Okay.
So my
podcasts
number
that-
1 is California. Yours is California.
Okay, that's correct.
Number nice.
Oh, okay.
And since it is city, I'm not going to make you guys guess the city, but it was Los Angeles.
I was gonna say it's probably Los
Yeah,
Angeles.
because we've only been to SoCal.
2 is
So Texas,
Yeah, I was gonna say Texas or Arizona.
Texas.
Texas, Arizona.
No, I would say Texas.
Phoenix, Arizona is
I
number 2.
switched it. I should have said Arizona. I knew it.
He's easily swayed.
I thought
I
you said
am.
Phoenix, Arizona.
I
thought that's what you
did.
picked.
I was bouncing back and forth, and then
Okay.
I ended with
Okay.
Number 3.
Maybe 3 is Texas.
now I don't know. Florida.
Nope, now it's Texas.
I just didn't want to be like Will. I wanted to switch it up. I should have.
You're the most like me. The sunglasses.
That's
the
true. I
hat,
am more like you.
And specifically, it was Dallas.
Dallas. I was gonna say it
makes
had to be
sense.
Dallas.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Number 4.
Ooh, Florida.
See, now I want to say Florida, but then I feel like
I'm just looking at all the places that have a lot of
a
pickleball.
lot of pickleball.
Right.
Right. Oh man. Okay. I'm gonna say let's go with Florida. It's the next biggest, right?
Wrong.
Washington.
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Charlotte, North Carolina.
I never would have gotten that.
Ooh, let's
They're
go.
4?
I know. I was pretty surprised. I was like, wow, that's kind of cool.
Dude, what?
All right, number
That's
5.
Florida.
See, now I want to say Florida.
Florida.
It has to be. Florida has to be top 5.
Wrong.
Oh no.
Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Wow.
Hey, the hometown.
The
Our
hometown was
okay,
number 5.
they're top 5. I'm
Okay.
I'm glad to hear that top.
I was kind of
Minnesota's top-
worried that our hometown just wasn't going to be in the list.
That'd be
Because-
so funny.
Because everyone knows us, so I was like, well, then why would they listen?
That's the thing I was
Or
gonna
not-
say.
I
Is
shouldn't say everybody knows us, but like a lot of the people know us and are friends with us. So
Yeah.
my thing is most of the people that I know that I'm friends with that play pickleball here. Like, there's a few that watch or listen, but most of them don't.
Yeah.
Like, I can only think of 3 people that I'm close friends with that listen.
yeah.
That's it.
My friends don't even listen to me. I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe I don't have any real friends.
Who's
It's okay,
number?
Will,
Who's
I
number
listen.
6? Who's number 6?
Jeez, now, dude, after Charlotte, I have
Okay.
no clue.
I'm just gonna give you guys one hint here, just so you don't keep guessing it. Florida didn't even make the top 10.
Wow, that's
Okay.
crazy. Okay, so not Florida in there.
Okay.
What other big pickleball? Like, I want to think Washington.
Washington. I don't.
Yeah.
Kansas.
Kansas?
Ooh, that's a good guess.
Kansas. 6.
I'm saying Washington. Washington State.
Number 6 is Chicago.
Chicago.
Whoa,
Yeah,
Chicago?
Illinois.
I should have known this. I just came from Chicago, and like a handful of people was like, "Oh my gosh, like, are you that guy with the YouTube channel?"
Wow. Okay, cool. Chicago.
Now I'm just trying to think. Well, go ahead and guess the next one.
I'm going New York
New York. Oh, that's a good one.
because you were just
Kansas. Yeah, I was just there.
Both of those wrong. Seattle, Washington.
Dang
there.
it.
Oh, see, I also thought about Washington on that one
Washington.
because I said Washington earlier.
Ah.
Okay, that's good.
Next.
I don't even know.
Dude,
any
now
other
I'm just gonna
places.
start saying the other ones I've already said, and then I'm gonna be wrong again.
Okay, here I'll tell you this.
Hit me with.
Give me
Well,
a
actually,
region.
no, go ahead. Nope.
No region.
I'm just gonna let you guys keep guessing.
Wow,
This is more fun this way.
this is brutal. Okay,
Colorado.
Colorado. That's not a bad guess.
I will give you one. I'll give you guys one hint.
Okay.
There is a famous or iconic PPA venue in this state.
Oh, Atlanta.
Las Vegas.
Nope, Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah,
Oh,
I knew
nice.
it. The Lifetime in Atlanta is just gorgeous.
I'm gonna tell you guys this one. There's a duplicate state in here, but it was a different city.
Ooh.
Oh.
You've already guessed one of the, and you guys have already guessed this one, but it's a duplicate.
Okay. It has to either be.
It has to be Kansas.
Well, no,
You haven't been correct
No,
on
no,
that
no.
yet,
It's
though.
the
Oh.
state.
It's
We've
one that
already
you
been
guys have
correct.
already gotten.
It is it's either Austin, Texas, or it is another.
California State.
No,
Oh,
it's or another
California
Arizona city. Right.
Will's like having a meltdown.
I'm going Austin, Texas.
You're going Texas. I'm gonna go some other city in California.
Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas.
Dang.
Oh, come on,
All right.
Austin. They just listen to Zane out there.
Last one, and I'll give you guys a hint.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the East Coast.
But it's not
New York?
Florida.
It's not Florida. New York.
New York. Yeah.
New York, New York.
Okay.
Hey.
New York. Okay.
So
Nice.
those are our top 10 cities and states. Texas made it
Sweet.
on there twice, but
Texas is
California
big.
was number 1.
Yeah, but Texas might as well be 4 states.
I-
Or 3.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if I recall correctly, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but when I looked, I think California, like Los Angeles, California, had double the
Everyone
amount of not everyone else, but double. Like
next.
once you went to number 5, California was more than double everything after that.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I was like,
Shout out to California.
Yeah, seriously.
SoCal,
I mean,
thank you for all the love.
hey, but they've said this before. California's probably going to love this pod because it's probably going to be long.
Their traffic when they listen to it.
That's why they listen to
Yep.
the traffic.
Every time we record and we start to go long for a little bit, the first thing that pops in my mind is, man, these Californians are going to love this pod. It's the only thing that goes to my head.
It's a gift.
It literally.
You're welcome.
That's really funny.
Wow. Okay. That's cool. I'm glad to see Minnesota in the top 5.
Yeah, it would have been a little
I
sad.
was a little
Yeah, because
worried.
you guys are a heavy pickleball
I didn't
state.
want to say Minnesota, thinking like, oh
Why
yeah,
not?
us like our Minnesotans listen to us, but because I don't know how many people in Minnesota actually listen to us, but apparently a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't want to feel like you were, I don't know,
Maybe it's
a little
just
cocky or something.
maybe it's just our
maybe.
mom listening on like every
Oh,
device.
yeah, she's got like 12 devices.
on repeat.
Yeah.
All the time. Oh, I don't see my boys enough. Let me put them on. Let me listen to their sweet nasally voices.
That's too funny. Okay. So yes, 100
Dang.
episode. We have, we teased you guys a little bit a couple weeks ago and said we got something big coming. So we're going to get to that now. We've got a massive giveaway that we're going to do for this.
Woohoo.
We got a ton of brands involved for this giveaway. I think we have 24 brands, and we might even have a couple more that sign on during the week before the thing finishes. So we're going to be giving away almost 100 different items
Yeah.
for this. So there'll be almost 100 different winners. And basically, the majority of the brands are giving away 5 paddles to 5 different people. Some of them are doing a little less, and some of them aren't all paddles, but most of them are doing that.
And this is why we told you to hold off on buying anything in September.
And yes, that's why we told you to hold off, but that's not even the best part yet.
Yeah.
We'll get to. Keep listening.
There's more.
We're getting there.
We're getting there.
But wait, there's more.
So I'm going to go through all the brands involved. And again, huge thank you to all the brands that agreed to be in this
Thank
giveaway.
you.
Seriously, guys, I mean,
Love you.
there's so many of you. We really appreciate it. I'm sure the audience will really appreciate it.
Thank you for helping us celebrate 100 episodes. This
Yeah.
is big.
No, this is pretty cool. So, all right. We got 11624. We got Chorus, Neonic, Reload. Reload is the guys that did the replaceable face
The
skins.
skins.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Got Bread and Butter.
Oh, shouts to Doug.
Doug.
Yeah,
Uh,
Doug's
little Doug.
Drugs. Full
Yeah,
Terran.
Doug's Drugs, baby.
Gotta, Paddle
Insert
Tech.
jingle.
They're back from the dead.
Oh,
Nice to see
revived.
Paddle Tech.
We love them.
Got Selkirk. They've been around forever.
The OGs.
Rhombus. Hey, Ripple's coming soon.
Let's
The
go,
Ripper.
Rhombus.
Yeah, I might
The
have to
Ripper.
talk to him and see if maybe, because the giveaway ends I think almost a week before the Ripple.
Oh,
So I almost wonder if
early
hey,
access.
can we, that or can they just wait and get it after?
Get it once it's
afterwards.
released.
True.
That could be cool. Like
So
a
that's
voucher.
coming.
that
for it.
you'll get some fans for that.
Yeah.
If you do that, Rhombus.
Well, we'll
Yes.
talk to him. So, all right. After
go
that, we
Dom.
got Yola. We have Spartus, Carbon,
Mm.
Bolaire, Thrive, Groovin, Franklin, Honolulu Pickleball,
Mm.
PIKKL Pickle.
Pickle. Gotta spell it. Well, now the PCKL ain't even around anymore, so
Rest
we
in
don't even
peace.
have to.
Well,
Rest in peace.
there's
Yeah.
only 2 now.
Yeah,
There's more, but they're not all
There
they're
paddle
just not
companies.
all paddle
Oh,
companies.
okay, never
yeah,
mind.
yeah.
All
What
right.
do I know?
We have Melon hats. We're all
Yes,
wearing
No
them.
Melin.
way.
Oh
You
man,
got Melin?
We did get Melon
We got
How
Melon.
long
involved.
did that take you?
A long time. Not for that giveaway, but just in
Just to get
general.
Also, just a quick disclaimer:
Yeah.
no, the carbon giveaway is not the True Foam.
Yeah, that is a good thing to say.
Oh.
Okay, we're
good
not
call.
giving away 5 True Foams. If you got excited when you heard us say carbon,
Did you
sorry
try
to disappoint
asking,
you.
We had a brief discussion about it, and it was just going to be really complicated.
I
Yeah,
see.
so I'm sorry to break your hearts.
Yes.
but
No True Foam.
no True Foam.
We also have Story Eye Sun Sleeves. Those are the sun sleeves that I really like.
Love those.
They're going to give away 2 pairs to each winner. So shout out to them. We have Kitchen, the bag.
nice.
They're going to give away 1 bag
Okay.
because 5 would have been a lot of bags.
That'd be
Mhm.
crazy.
But-
Yeah, that would have been crazy.
One luxury winner.
Yep. And then Just Paddles. They're giving away 5 $250 gift cards.
Wow.
Nice.
So that'll be great.
That's big.
Lukey Grips, which is the grip that
I use them.
have started using them
Yeah, I started using them now.
and Will uses them.
I always use them. Yeah, that's my
The
boy,
tacky.
Mo. Shout out to
Oh.
Mo from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
And they're going to they're giving away 300 overgrips total.
Whoa.
So
Mhm.
they have 5 different types of overgrips, and you'll get each winner will get a 12 pack of each of those 5
Right.
grips. So each winner will get 60 grips, 300
Man,
total.
that's a big supply.
Yeah.
Yes. Hesicor, I've been using those and really like them, so I wanted to get them involved.
Nice.
They are going to give away 2 Hesicors per person.
Ooh.
And then lastly, we have 6-0. So theirs is going to be a slightly different. So they have the elongated double black diamond coming out this week.
Yep.
And then soon they also have the Hawaiian double black diamond. So like theme. So they're going to give away 3 of those and then 2 elongated double black diamonds.
Nice.
And then they also wanted me to mention that they did bump their warranty from 6 months to 12 months.
Nice.
So that's
Nice
always nice
little
to
bonus.
see.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I just saw a bonus. So that is all of the brands that are currently involved.
Thank you to everyone.
I believe, actually, I think I forgot one in there. Engage is also in the giveaway, and I'll get to why I missed them. There's like 2 parts to this thing. So there's the giveaway, and then there's a bonus for everyone who did not win something. So we'll get to that in just a second.
Nice.
So anyways, all right, those are all the brands involved. To enter the giveaway, you're going to go in the link in the description. You're going to click it. It's going to take you to a landing page where you're going to give your name and your email address. I will randomly select the winners that sign up through their email, and then I'm going to email you if you win. The giveaway is going to run for a week from the time this pod goes up to September 15th at 8 p.m. CST, and then the winner should be notified by Monday morning, 9 a.m. CST at the latest. Also, just be aware, I'm letting you all know now, but it is also in the terms and conditions of this giveaway. Your email may potentially be given to the brands that are involved in this giveaway. That was kind of part of the thing, is that was the sign up instead of having to go follow every brand on all the different social media platforms.
That would have been annoying.
That would have been really annoying. So basically your email may be shared with them. Not all of them wanted the emails, but some did. So just know that you will be signing up for my newsletter, but your email will also be potentially handed to some of the brands.
How many people do you think, how many diehard fans would sign up if they had to individually go follow and sign up for every brand?
Well, I mean, considering
I think
it's
most
this
of them.
many, I mean, I feel it's worth it to me for like 5 minutes of work
Yeah.
to potentially be in a giveaway like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, that should be that part.
Sweet.
All right. Here's the big thing we want to get to. All right. So if you don't win something, and this is why I told you guys not to buy something. I'm not going to give away all the details of all the brands involved, but basically they're going to do a 24-hour flash sale next week, Monday, and it's only going to run for 24 hours, and a lot of the brands are doing 20% off their paddles.
Yep.
Not all of them, and I'm going to be upfront now. The major big brands are not going to do that. They just have a
which
lot.
are the major big brands?
So companies like Selkirk or
Okay.
Paddle Tech, ones of that size, just because they have more strict rules with retailers and whatnot. Like,
Of course.
you know, you're going to hurt the retailers if you do that. So just know that you're not going to get 20% off a Selkirk paddle, but a lot of the other brands are doing 20% off. It's a mix of all these things. I'm going to be posting on Instagram what all of the percentages are throughout the week. So save your
Make
money.
sure
You got a
you
week.
follow.
Yeah.
There's going to be some
heavy discounts.
heavy discounts. Oh, last thing. Make sure to check your spam when this giveaway ends, because sometimes my emails go to spam. So please check that Monday morning.
Yeah.
And you only have 48 hours to respond.
Yep.
If you don't, I'm picking a new winner.
Can't wait around forever.
All right. That was a lot of stuff. But anyways, it's
exciting.
Huge thank you to everyone involved. Thank you to everyone for listening to the podcast this whole time.
We love you.
Yeah. We just wanted to do something to show appreciation.
Give back a little.
Yeah. So thanks, everyone. That's a lot. I mean, anything else you guys want to say for reaching 100?
Nah, man. I'm just, shout outs to you, Chris, for setting that all up and reaching out to all the brands and, getting the conditions and the terms of service like all squared away so that you can do this giveaway. Chris has put in like a lot of work for you guys out there. Isaac too, but Chris definitely put in a lot of work.
He's putting a lot of work
Yeah,
into
so
this.
show him some love.
Yeah.
We're trying. All right. Let's get to our main topic today. So
Yeah.
we're basically going to go over how has pickleball, all aspects of pickleball changed since we got into it.
Yeah.
We've been playing for about 3 years now. You've
3?
maybe longer.
A
I'm
little
at about
longer.
3.
3.5.
Yeah, 3.5 about.
Yeah.
What do you,
4.
did you start in 2020?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to go over how has like local pickleball changed? How has pro pickleball changed? How have paddles
How
changed?
tech.
Content creation.
Yeah, we changed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Us.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, let's just get into it.
it.
So first, we're just going to go over the local scene. I
Yeah.
mean, what do you guys think has changed since we got into it?
Obviously there's a lot more players,
Mhm.
right? Some places you see like proliferation of courts, right? But also the skill level has also increased. And now, at least for me, I think I see a little bit more elitism that's happening, at least on the local courts. You know, good players. You know, even before, you know, when you started, like good players would play with beginners and stuff. You see a lot less of that now, if at all. I don't know about you guys, but that's what
I definitely
I've noticed.
think it did get, as time went on, it started to get more cliquey as the sport got bigger and more serious.
Yeah.
It became less of a social fun thing, and people started to realize, like, I want to play to just get good, and that's when it started to get more cliquey.
Yeah. Well, because, you know, 2020 and 2021, people were still coming out of the pandemic. People were still a little
Had
afraid,
nothing to do.
You
And
haven't
now-
seen people in forever, and it's like, I need to.
You just
see
wanna
some
go,
people.
Yeah, you just
yeah.
want to talk to people. It doesn't matter who they are, what they did, but you're just here enjoying the game.
Yep.
We've lost a
Hit
lot
with
of that.
anybody.
You know.
Yeah, I definitely think some of that's been lost, because I even just think one of our local parks near us, and now I think it's a mix of things.
The first courts we ever hit on. Well, not you, but me. Because you
Yes.
played out with,
I played it on a tennis court the first time,
Yep.
which I think had pickleball lines, but we actually played over a tennis net. That was very interesting. Yeah, but I think there's a couple things that changed for ours. So the park we used to go to, there was one guy that was like, he was there basically every day.
He was the
mayor?
law.
The
No,
law?
no,
He
literally.
was the law.
He kind of was like the law, and he like actually kept the place in order. Like if people weren't rotating, he would explain to them like, hey, you got to rotate, or like he did a pretty good job of like
Explaining the
he
rules.
didn't force people to mix around, but it was kind of like, hey, you know, like just mix around a little bit. Like
Yeah. Or
He
get off the court and
suggested it.
rotate.
yeah, he kept the ecosystem of it going very well. He
Right.
he would bring music. Sometimes he'd bring water or
Oh,
snacks.
that's cool.
Yep. And it was like a whole group. Like, and I would get off work 5 o'clock, go straight to the courts, and every single day you'd see the same group
Yeah.
of 30 people, 40 people.
Yeah,
It was every day the same people. And, you know, we were all around the same level. Obviously, some people were a little better, 4-0, maybe
Yeah.
4-5. But really, the whole group was like 3-0 to 4-0.
Yeah.
And everyone would rotate with everyone.
Yeah, it was pretty good. And then I think he got injured, and he just hasn't been around as much, or I haven't seen him in a while. And I think it's a combination of what you guys said and also that. But like that court, it used to be just like this whole thing of everyone having like a good time, and it's still people are having a good time. That you hear a lot of laughter, but people don't mix in nearly as much, and there's a lot more like, oh, hey, I think they didn't see that we finished our game. Like, do another one real
Oh,
quick or
really?
whatever. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Dang.
That, and people just like don't know. So they just grab a court and they just sit on it and
Yeah.
stay there. And now, like specifically that court, and I've been seeing it at other courts too, and it could just be the area. A lot of like younger, just college kids like come and
way
kinda
younger demographic.
take over. Like, because before it was like with that group of people that would
Mhm.
always come, it was like
We were the youngest people
we were
by
young
20
by
years.
so far. It was like 40 to 60.
I see.
And now you see like 18-year-olds or younger kids and whatnot, and it's
He doesn't like this man talking like an old man. Like, oh, look at these young whippersnappers coming on my court.
but kind of, and it's like it's not necessarily a bad thing, but like it's become more like almost there's like a like frat party like people just like bring in tons of beer and like
Oh,
just
man,
taking over the whole park.
Where is this? I need to go here.
Nah, you're good, Will. You're good.
You're good. We don't want you sucked into that.
But yeah, it is interesting seeing like the culture shift. And I also think, you know, granted, it wasn't super high level, but like I think the average level at that park specifically now is like below 4.0.
Oh,
Yes.
And
but
whereas-
before it was higher.
Before, I think it was higher, and like people were high levels, people were playing there. And now I think as we've gotten more parks, more facilities, more people have gotten their own backyard courts, the higher level people just, especially 4 or 5 plus,
Yeah.
they're never at public parks.
Yeah, they just
and if they are,
migrate.
they click together and they're not rotating. They just stay with their group.
They stay with their group,
and
which
they-
I think this is an interesting discussion. So it's obviously become more cliquey
yes.
Mhm.
in terms of like, hey, I'm going to play with my group.
Yeah, but
And
it's the natural progression of things.
Yeah, it's the natural progression of things. And I feel like it makes sense, right? Like if you have a limited amount of time to play,
Mhm.
you want to play with like the same skill, right? Like you don't want like 4-7-5 with like a 3-5. It's generally not as
Yeah.
much fun.
And we still play with you, Chris. I mean, it's okay.
And I appreciate it. I'm very grateful for it. That was a pretty good job.
We haven't left you behind yet.
Yeah, I haven't left me behind.
no Chris Olsen's left behind.
But what I think is like so it's just tough because I think that's what makes pickleball great is that people do that mixing in, but also I understand, like if I go to the park, I'm usually testing paddles.
Yeah.
And I'm going to play with my friends to get the best testing, but I also miss that like element of mixing in.
I will say, like when we would go to that park, that group, after I'd get off work, have a long day, like I looked forward to it, and I'd say maybe not the most, but that was some of the most like fun I've had just playing pickleball. Because now that it's gotten more serious and I'm trying to get way better, like it's less of me doing this just for a good time and like a stress reliever after work, and more of a like, this is my life and I want to get good at it, and this is all I do. So now I specifically hit with certain people only to get better. And that's like all I do with pickleball. Like it's still fun, but my main focus now is just to get better.
Okay. I kind of was at that kind of level. And then just more recently, I've been going to the courts playing even in my local area. And even when I go travel, like I just came back from New York and Chicago as well. Don't bring a camera, don't bring nothing, no expectation to really like, I guess, do work, quote unquote.
Yeah.
I'm really there just to play, and I'm trying to experience that kind of Renaissance golden era of just meeting people and playing and having fun again. And it's been refreshing.
Yeah.
It's been nice. So I don't know, there's ups and downs. There was that time where I was like, I just want to play with better people and get better. But now I think I'm at a point where I still kind of do want to get better, but it's not as serious. That's not my main priority or goal. And then for a short time, my main priority and goal was, I guess, work, like test paddles, hit stuff, grab playing content, etc., so I can use for videos. And it just started becoming or feeling like a job, and I could feel like myself not enjoying pickleball. And I was like, ugh, something needs to change. I don't like that.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's pretty natural with anything. Like when you do something so much, and especially like with us where it's work, naturally, eventually you're going to burn out. Doing it as much as we do and as hard as we go at this.
Yeah.
Like I've felt burnout. I know you have, obviously, like we've all dealt with burnout. So breaks are always good. But I still naturally come right back to it.
Yeah.
One thing, true. I don't know if your courts ever did this. Some states are a lot better about this than other states. And I always really appreciate and I agree with you, when I go out of state, usually I'm trying not to work as much, or I'm not focusing on content as much. And that's usually the most enjoyable pickleball for me, because I'm like, I'm just there to kind of socialize and have fun. But I wish more public courts would have a challenge court.
Yes.
That gets,
at the very least.
That is what it just always is. Like court number 8, that court is a challenge court. If you want to put a paddle and wait and challenge whoever's on it, because people, if they want to wait in the line, they get a chance to play with whatever the better person is on that court. And it gives people like a sense of a thing to like work up to. And it's like really fun. Like I feel like if our local court had that, I would go do that just for fun.
I mean, you could do it now. Like you can set the precedent.
I just
guess.
feel like it's
really hard now.
It's really hard now.
I feel like it would be hard. I'm trying to think of a way, if I'm an average person, and if commenters have dealt with this and found ways to deal with it, please let me know how you would do it. But like, if people have this expectation of all the courts rotate, why would we hold this court for like just good people who want to like try and play better players on it? I feel like it would just be hard to explain to them. Like, no, I think this would be fun for everyone.
And I think the majority of people would just be like, no, we just want to have another court that we can all rotate onto, if that's what they're doing.
But if they're not rotating, like if you go to some courts, like in my area where rotation actually doesn't happen, they just kind of come and they stick, it's almost like tennis. They just come in and they take their turns, right? And they just play there until they're done. I think having a designated challenge court is nice, because that is a mechanism for rotation. If somebody's out of town, they come through, they want to play and they can't like get in with a group or something like that, it'd be tough. And having a challenge court allows them to like kind of play.
All right. We're printing a sign and we're going to put it on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Print a sign.
No, actually, one thing that I was thinking that at least at our courts could work is there is a tennis court that has, if you bring your own net, you can use it for pickleball because they have the lines.
Yeah.
It would almost be interesting to put a sign on that door that says like, hey, this is a challenge court on like maybe these days or something. And you just show up and whoever wants to can like try it. I don't know. I just feel like if I went out of state and I went to some courts, especially as like a higher level player now, I want I knew. I already knew.
I wasn't gonna do that. I was like, oh no, that was too easy. That was too easy. And then Isaac just looked at me. I was like, oh dang.
I already knew it was coming.
Look, you gotta make sure you cut that camera to my face when you say that.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, I really want to go out of state and I show up at a park. It would be great to be able to have that court. And it's kind of like, okay, I know like maybe this is an area. I just feel like would be fun for everyone. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I like that.
I agree. I'm going to set that up when I go back to Oklahoma to my course, because I've been thinking about doing that, just spending, I think, 2 to 3 days or evenings out of the week to kind of go and help facilitate that.
Thursday evenings at 5:00, challenge courts.
Yeah, just to set that up, challenge court, or even just setting up the culture of rotating and setting up a system so people kind of know.
Maybe you just have to put in like a local, like the local park Facebook group or something, because like, local parks always have Facebook.
Nah, I mean, even if you do that, you still need somebody there to kind of police it just a little bit.
Well, wouldn't that be what if you go that would just be you doing that?
Yeah, exactly.
You would be the guy like setting it up, and obviously it's work, but like, yeah, it'd be fun.
That's true. Also, it hasn't, like, I don't know if this dawned on you, but probably for all three of us, like, we are probably we are lucky because obviously we get to travel a lot.
Yeah.
But also because people know us, right? They let us play with them, and it, like, if you're an average Joe,
100%.
they don't know you, they're not gonna let you play.
No, I think about that all the time when I travel.
Like, I feel privileged, and I'm like grateful. It's not dawned on me that like when I go to a place and people recognize me, oh yeah, come play, on this court. Like, these are some of the better players. I'm like, wow, I'm really fortunate and lucky.
Perfect story for that. A friend of ours just went through that.
Oh yeah.
No one really knows him.
Okay.
He's in his 40s,
something like that.
Yeah,
5'5" plus
he's
guy.
lower 40s.
Okay.
Lower to mid 40s, and he's 5'5" to 6'0". Like, he's really good. Like, he would dominate senior pro when he gets to that age.
Okay.
But no one knows him. Yeah. And he traveled recently, and usually when he travels out of town for work, he asks us, he's like, hey, do you know people in this area that I can hit with?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the 2 areas he was going to, we didn't know anybody. So he just searched out, went to go play with people. And he went to this like 4 or 5 open play. And there was these people who looked at him, and to preface, he plays with a really old, one of the older Babolat paddles.
No,
not
I think he does use a newish Babolat, but it's not the wizard striker
or
the
it's not
baller.
The new 3 ones.
It's like ones with an edge guard.
Yes.
He is obsessed with Babolat paddles.
Loves it.
Not just because of the brand, but that's just the paddle
that he likes.
I've given him everything under the moon.
And
he always goes back to the Babolat.
He plays so much better with that Babolat than anything we've ever given him. It does not matter. And he's just a beast with that Babolat.
We always joke that if I just took one of these paddles off the wall and branded it Babolat, he would be fine.
Yeah.
That's the joke.
That's what we need to do. But anyways, these one lady, they were like, no one wanted to play with him.
So he showed up for like I don't know if it was at a facility or something, but basically it was some type of organized play.
Open play.
And he would like put his rack in, and he was saying probably because he's a little older. He doesn't look old.
He doesn't.
He's pretty athletic.
Okay.
No, he
played
athletic.
soccer.
Yeah. And he puts the Babolat in, and like people would just keep putting moving his paddle. And we were joking. Part of that is probably because it was a Babolat.
That's so funny.
But then this one lady that he played with did not want to play with him at first. But then after they played together,
picked the other guy and was like, no, I want to play with him.
Yeah, picked the other guy. So then the guy he got stuck with, they play, and
he destroyed them.
Destroyed that lady. I mean, just mopped them. And then she goes, no, we got to run that back. Like, there's something that's
I didn't play well.
Yeah, I did. She's like, I didn't play well. And then just absolutely, he just smoked everybody. I mean, he's playing against 4.5s, and like I say, he's like a 6.0.
Yeah.
But it is like, to your point about like being privileged, I think that is like a very real thing. Like, I think
he went through
we wouldn't have had that same problem. And
exactly.
I feel like
we're
I don't know, that's
we're
just
lucky.
We're 100% lucky.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
I think that's
especially traveling to new areas, like we don't have to worry about being able to find good play or people to play with, because
the moral of the story
we can just put something on our Instagram story.
Don't judge people by
their paddles.
Yes.
And we just talked about that recently on our other podcast, right? Like, where people judge you if you have like a cheaper paddle.
Yeah, 100%.
Or
just certain paddles.
Yeah.
You show up with a Z5, someone's like, yeah, this guy's not good.
Look, there are certain paddles that are at the very bottom of the barrel.
We're not going to say anything. Not on the 100th. Not on the 100th. Let's be nice.
Yeah.
All right. So before we kind of move past the local stuff.
Yeah.
Do you think, so obviously, one thing I'm a little worried about is that it eventually becomes kind of like tennis, where it's like the local rec scene and everyone showing up and having a great time kind of dies and everyone's in their own little groups. Like, do you think there is an effective way to actually solve that? Because I can't think of one, because I understand why people want to play in those groups in their own little thing. So how do you encourage people to like mix around or like not become so elitist?
I think the only way to do that is to have somebody who's somewhat like the mayor or have a few leaders within that area to set the culture, right? But it's going to be, there's, in my opinion, no really other way. But I think the progression of things as people get better and they become more, cliquey, is that they will go to play, leagues, or they'll play tournaments. And then, it kind of just evolves. Those same people are looking for good games, right? And then so there's a demand for those things. So then somebody within that community will meet that demand by setting up leagues or tournaments. Like, so like a perfect example is like, I guess Eric and Ray from NYC Pickleball. Shout out to them because they housed me when I was in New York. I met Eric like 3 years ago, like once on the pickleball court. We've never met again. I talked to him like through social media every once in a while. I was like, hey man, can I come through? Can we play some pickles? Like, yeah man, you need a place? Come stay with me. And I gave me a key to his apartment. He would leave when I'm still there and stuff. But he is literally, like, in my opinion, like the mayor of New York. He sets up all these leagues for all those people. He goes there, he sets those things up. And I really feel that right there, being a leader just by like doing something like setting up leagues for people, right, showcases how pickleball should be, right? So shout out to him. And then even like other people setting, I'm sure you have people like that here as well, but other people that I know are like Jen from OMFG Pickleball down in Houston. They run leagues and tournaments, stuff like that. 002 tournaments down in Texas. Seth from them, he runs tournaments. And I think you can find that camaraderie still in more organized. Basically, it's like we're lacking organization and structure. So where do you go to get that? And I think those are the people that you get. And I think rec will maybe eventually just become like it is, like cliquey, kind of like that. But unless there's somebody setting that up, there's really no way around it. It's just going to happen.
And it's tricky because, like, for me, like, although I'm not opposed to just playing with anybody, like when I usually like to get to the courts early when I play with my groups and whatnot. And I'm usually the first person there. And people see a solo guy and they'll usually ask, hey, do you want to come hit with us?
Yeah,
and even though like I might be 5-0 plus and they might be 3-0 or 3-5, I'm not opposed to just playing and hitting with them. But I usually don't just go to the park on my own to hit with those people. It's a very rare occasion that I just go to mix in.
Also, I think
because there's two groups.
Also, one thing I think, just to make clear so people don't misunderstand this, just because of how we're phrasing some of these things, it's not like, oh man, if you're a 3-0, like you're just a terrible person, no one should play pickleball with you. I think everyone has gone through this experience. It doesn't matter if it's 5-0 to 4-0 or 4-0 to 3-0 or 3-0 and someone who has literally just picked up a pickleball paddle for the first time. Like, I think we've all experienced where pickleball can be less fun when you are playing with a mismatched skill group by a big enough gap, right? Like, if you are a 3-5, you're probably going to have less fun on the court. If it's someone who has no sports background, can't even hit a serve return, you know what I mean? You're kind of like, what do I do? That's more what we're talking about. This isn't about like, oh, just 5-0 plus people like don't want to play with low level people or something like that.
Exactly. And I've been there on the other end of it. I used to be a 3-0 or even worse, and there were people that let me hit with them, but I realized like I'm not going to hit with these like 4-5 or 5-0 guys on a 3-0 consistently. They might let me play with them every once in a while and kind of see how much better I'm getting.
Yeah. No, I'm glad I gave you that chance that one time we met long ago. Look at where you are now. See? It's just,
you guys are still giving me a chance.
Look, we're all about second, third, fourth, fifth chances around here. But yeah, like, and again, it's not because like, oh, I don't want to play with any 3-0s. It's just like I feel like they don't have as much fun because like they know that I feel bad either because I look like I'm not trying and then they feel bad, or I'm just mopping them and no one's having fun. So
one thing I think, and maybe people have to just, like you were saying, you kind of have to have those leaders in different areas. And I don't know that like that's really what I want to be for like my local park or whatever, but I have thought about like, once or twice a week in the evening, just showing up to like the open play of the park and just like seeing what happens. Like if I try to mix in or whatever, and just see if like some type of culture can be built more. Cause also again, like pickleball, I think is the most enjoyable when people are like laughing, having a good time and they're not taking it so serious. And I feel
Yeah.
like that would almost be a good de-stressor for me. Just like, I'm going to the park. This isn't for work. This is for nothing. I'm literally just showing up
Yeah.
to like hopefully have some type of good time.
This
Yeah.
guy was going to be a bully a couple weeks ago.
What?
And then he went
Bully?
he went to the public court, and I was drilling with a friend, and he
Uh-huh.
said he was just there to play with random people, and he was going to play with a trainer paddle.
Hey, it wasn't to bully people. It was just, I was like, well, this would be fun for me to work on.
Yeah.
Like it makes it,
The disrespect when
well-
you came on the court.
well,
That's
that
what
was
I
the
get
problem.
I get it.
The problem is I was like, this is going to be perceived as I'm being a jerk. Like, oh, I'm so good. I can play with your trainer paddle. But it was literally, I was like, this is good training for me
Yeah.
because I missed the center of my paddle.
Yeah, you're not trying to be a bully, but
No.
I thought it was funny because somebody out there would have taken it that way.
Yes, 100%. All right.
But
Well, that's kind of the local scene. I thought that was just kind of
interesting.
Yeah.
fun to
It's
go
changed
over.
a lot.
We'll leave it with this.
Yes.
Do you think local scenes are in a better or worse spot than when we started?
I think a better spot.
It's tricky. I think Will has a better view on it because I almost am just out of the scene because I only hit with specific groups of people. That's all I know now.
For
Okay,
me-
why do you say better?
Well, partly is because my local scene was small before, and it's just starting to grow.
Oh, see,
So, it all depends on like where I guess how your local scene has aged. Has it already been developed and established, or is it still growing? So mine is still growing. So I think there's an opportunity to like shape the culture.
Sure.
And it's interesting on what you perceive as better because you go back to our old glory days when we first started and it was the same group of people. We all had fun, would bring drinks and snacks, and it was a nice little party.
I mean, nothing's
But
gonna
n-
beat those times. It
Right.
was a golden
It's
age.
like it's the golden age, it's a lot of fun, but now there's way more people. The sport has grown, so that's better for the sport. But now the downside is you get a lot more random people, like people who don't know the rules, and the courts are just so crowded that you get a lot of people that come to the courts and then don't get to play because it's so packed.
really just egos out there.
So yeah,
Yeah, I
That's really
can't-
what it is.
I can't really decide if I think it's better or worse. Like I think
It's different.
yeah, that might be the better word. Like I think the elitism is bad for it,
Mhm.
but I also understand that it's just what's
nature.
gonna happen. If it gets
Yeah.
bigger, that's just what's gonna happen. It was never gonna come so big and be exactly what it was.
right. Exactly.
It just wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah, because
So
the skill, like you said, the volume of people that are playing, and then also the skill gap is just increasing day by day, every day. You know, so
Well,
Also-
yeah,
go ahead.
5-0 now or 5-0 back then, is like 4-0
5.
now. Like the goalpost has changed. The sport's just going to evolve and change.
one thing I think one of the biggest takeaways for just like everyone in pickleball is, especially if you're gonna be at your local park playing, like just be a nice guy.
yeah, just be a nice guy.
Like, and I'm not even talking about like, oh, you have to play with like lower level people. I'm just generally like, how some people get super heated at the courts over nothing.
Yes,
They're like, oh, like this guy didn't rotate or blah blah. People start. I literally saw a video. This was a tournament, but this guy was like trying to fight this guy.
Yeah.
and I was
No,
like,
the
this
greatest-
is insane.
The greatest example is back when the spin serve was around. And just wait.
R.I.P. I still
We
miss
were
that thing.
playing on our own court. No other person was with us. And this guy next to us, random guy we've never seen before, looks over and goes, that's illegal, right? And then starts yelling at us and is like, it's in the rule book that it's illegal. And we were
Bro,
just like,
I'm
bro,
on this card. I can play however
it's
I want.
that. And it's like, but it is legal.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's
gosh.
like and he was trying to say that like tossing the ball up.
That's
And
like-
he's just getting in an argument with us.
That's like you guys playing your own little basketball game on the basketball, and somebody walks by and is like, "Hey, man, that's not how you play basketball," or whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
"Yo, guys, I'm literally playing like I don't know, knockout or something. Or
Yeah.
I'm playing horse.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean I can't? Like, I don't have to dribble. What do you
against
mean?
the rules, bro.
Yeah,
So
get outta
it's like,
here.
just be nice to others. Even if people are playing, like I've seen tons of new people like playing the sport quote unquote wrong, like hitting volleys in the kitchen and whatnot. But I
Yeah,
see that they're having a lot of fun.
Yeah,
so it's
exactly.
like they're having a good time, and if they continue to play pickleball, they'll learn and be like,
Yeah,
oh,
they'll
hey
learn.
guys, we were playing wrong, and they'll change.
Mhm.
So I just like when I see people having fun at the park.
Yeah.
Likewise.
All right, let's go on to how paddles have changed.
Which is a good
Oh.
one.
Okay, so this one's kind of fun. The first thing I wanted to go over is brands that were relevant and are not relevant anymore, or kind of went through just
Up
Like-
cycles, up and downs.
some cycles
out.
with it. So
And we ain't talking about burgers.
yeah, we ain't talking about burgers. Okay, so first one I want to talk about, and this is maybe a hot take,
Mm-hmm.
Selkirk.
Okay.
So in my opinion, Selkirk was like not initially when I got in, but not long after. Like within the first 9 to 10 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like basically when the projects came out, they
Yeah.
were top of the top food chain. Like they basically definitively had one of the best paddles you could buy.
Yeah.
No O2.
002 comes out, more power than anything's had,
More
more
spin.
spin than anything's had. It was different. It was
Pop.
expensive.
It's still good.
It was unique. Yeah, it's still the best, one of the best paddles.
Their best paddles are best paddles.
No,
there's
they're best.
Okay.
Not the best, they're best.
I was
Yeah.
like, there's a difference.
yeah, they're best.
There's a difference. But so I feel like they were top of the top, and I feel like just as time has gone on, like they've just gotten passed by so far. And now, granted, in the current stage of pickleball, we all know the drama about power paddles and whatnot, and Selkirk's clearly drawn a line and said, like, we don't want to cross this line. So
Yeah.
I get it, and I actually respect them for drawing a line and saying this is bad for the game and not contributing to the problem. But I feel like basically since like the Power Air, like nothing has really come out that's been like that innovative or that different. Like it's kind of like building on what the Power Air or 002
Yeah.
was.
A little stagnant. And one thing I'll say is like this also is very dependent on our views of locally. Because like when we first got in, Selkirks were huge around our local scene. I saw Vanguards all over the place
Mhm.
locally. So
I mean,
but
some
can
of
be
it is
changed.
based on that, but also just like current. And here's the thing. Selkirk is probably more dominant than they've ever been. Like in terms
Yeah.
of like a
Market
brand.
share.
Yeah,
Mhm. Yes.
they probably still are the biggest. I'd have almost no doubt about that. I'm more thinking strictly in terms of performance.
Mhm.
Like I think Selkirk has basically kind of shifted their target demographic, and it's not like we want just the highest the
Players.
best performance, blah blah blah.
One of the best paddles
You know,
for
like-
like the regular person, the common person.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and there's nothing wrong with that. But
No.
it's just an interesting observation since
Since
like,
you can for
They
performance.
also, I feel like, contribute to the sport. Like
yeah,
I can't
almost more
confirm,
than any brand.
almost more than any. Yeah, they do a lot for the sport.
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
I really like.
Shout out to Selkirk for that. I mean, I'm wearing their shirt right now. I mean, obviously, I used to work for them, so
Shilkirk is back.
Yeah,
he doesn't even
Shilkirk's
work
back,
for
man.
He doesn't even work for him, and he's wearing a Selkirk shirt.
This is one of my favorite shirts. Okay.
Do you know how much work it's
How
going to
much
be
did
for
you
me
get paid to say that?
Huh? Not enough.
Not enough. All right. So, I
see
mean, do
that.
you guys disagree? Agree?
No.
with that?
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
I agree. It feels like they're kind of chasing a little bit the market, but I almost they're like second mover
Mhm.
kind of,
Yeah.
like they see
Almost
what's
like
working.
Apple type
Yeah,
of
almost like Apple.
I will say-
they come out with something, but it's not maybe nearly like as innovative or as good, but it's still like solid. And it's probably because they see what everybody else is doing, see the problems that come out, and then
Yeah.
with as big as they are, they have to be able to distribute, all their products out, and they care about the consistency that they have.
Yeah,
right?
totally.
So I get it.
For
Yeah.
sure.
And like on another brand, when we first started, it was huge. Engage was everywhere.
Yeah, no, when I
At
started,
our local, so many people
There was a
had
lot of
Engage
Engage.
paddles. It's
Specifically
crazy.
that
2020.
Encore.
The Encore, and then
I still have that paddle.
the first Pursuit came
Yeah.
out, and dude,
The first
that
pursuit
was
crazy.
everywhere. I remember a friend of ours, his couple, the wife like bought her husband a Pursuit, and they told us like, yeah, it's a $200 paddle. And I was like, what? A $200 paddle? It was like the first really expensive one, and everyone was like, yo, can I see that paddle? And it was like and then all of a sudden you just see black Engage Pursuits everywhere.
Yes.
That was like the first big, like I felt innovation that I saw locally.
Well, and like they're actually kind of similar. Like I feel like they were pretty big when I got in, had a
Mhm.
dip for a while because they just didn't make anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the Ultra kind of flopped, and then the Pursuit Pro brought them
Pursuit
right
Pro
back
was
up.
so
Boom, they
good.
shot
And
up.
I still see, quite a few people in our local groups.
Now there's tons of
Use the
Engage
Pursuit Pros.
Pro. Yeah, that's
So-
become big.
They haven't, they're kind of one of those ones that rode the wave.
They were an OG. Same like with PaddleTech.
Yep.
Like an OG and then dead.
Yeah, they just-
for the longest time. It's funny. We talked about it. We were like, yep, PaddleTech, dead, done.
I mean,
And
memes of pickleball was making memes about how they were just like dead and stagnant.
once memes of pickleball starts making memes about paddles, that's when you know you messed up.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, when
Because
they,
they never do.
remember when they came out with the V3 or
Oh,
whatever,
yeah,
and
all
then
the
it
memes.
was
Oh, yeah,
literally
Chris, you
just
were
a
the
graphic, barely changed. They didn't even change some of the graphics or whatever, and
Yeah.
the memes pickleball was joking about how their graphic designer was like, I don't remember all of it, but
Yeah,
they
yeah, it
made
was
some good
funny.
memes. Yeah.
But yeah, PaddleTech was definitely one that a lot of PaddleTechs when I started dropped like a rock.
Nothing.
added raw carbon fiber and some pop and power, and
Boom.
right to
I
the
see
moon.
them
Just-
everywhere now.
It's the only dude. Kansas City PPA.
Yeah.
It was like when the Gearbox PPE came out.
Uh-huh.
That thing is just every other court you saw. Paddle Tech is
And then
unreal.
I feel like they earned it. Like the new ones are really good.
Great paddle.
They
Yeah.
still have some, I don't know, some problems with breaking and stuff.
I've heard a lot of butt caps come loose.
Yeah, the butt caps
There's a
come
lot of
loose.
quality control issues with the butt cap.
Yeah.
Like you'll swing and all of a sudden like
but still
pop loose.
super. I feel like unless you're, I don't know, destroying the ball, like I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
most of those things are gonna be from like those
Top level.
top level people who are just bound to break anything they
And
use.
that's the main issue I've heard with those. The paddle techs is that butt cap coming loose, but that's such an easy thing to fix. And then it's like it never even happened.
Yeah.
So
Here's an interesting one for you.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this company has like really faded into obscurity. They're still around, but
Who?
Electrum.
yes,
Oh, yeah.
I was just thinking about that the other day.
Because they were pretty big. They had like Colin Johns, they had Dane Gingrich.
Yup.
They were basically the
they
only
had
raw
Thomas Wilson.
Yes.
Oh.
They were also like the only raw carbon fiber paddle.
Yeah, when they first
they
came
were
out,
like
yep.
the first.
Yeah, and I mean
The
even
Electrum Pro.
I used it for a while and I loved that paddle. I thought it was great.
The Model E.
Yeah, the Model E. And I mean, since then,
You
like,
lost to me when I lobbed you 20 times in one point.
He's never gonna let you live that down.
bro, we're not talking about tournaments. We're talking about paddles right now.
And look, that's the only memory I have of you using the Model E. Is me just lobbing you.
You want
20
your job
times in a
back, Will?
point.
Yeah. Sign me up.
Oh my gosh. All
But
right.
yes,
But
they were
yeah,
super relevant.
They were really round, didn't really do anything. They tried doing a 13 millimeter. That didn't really take off. Then they did the Model E Elite, which was pretty good.
Yeah, Elite was good.
Core crush like crazy.
Well, it did core crush, and they also had like a thing from Head about the graphene claims. They had to take that all out.
Okay.
And then,
They did the edgeless paddles.
yeah, the stealth, and that just
Stealth.
like did nothing.
Flop.
Like, I
That's
mean,
all I remember. That's the last thing I've heard of.
well, that is the last thing they did. And, you know, they could still be working on things, but like, I feel like Electrum was a very established brand. People enjoyed their stuff. And now, when was the last time you saw an Electrum on the court?
I have not seen
There's only one person I know recently who kind of uses one. So I've like seen one, but it's literally just one.
Yeah.
So they're just going
I've
through
not seen.
their paddle tech phase. They're just going off the grid for a little bit. You know, they're let them cook, and eventually maybe
They might be.
they'll come out
Maybe.
with something.
We'll see.
you know,
see.
the next Ripple.
I highly doubt it.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
I'm gonna go through a couple of these other ones really quick, just so we can get to some more interesting stuff.
Yeah.
But Gamma was an interesting one. They used to have Riley Newman,
Yes.
and now then they went out. Now they're kind of back on the come up with the Thermoform, the Airbender.
They've been Obsidian.
You know, they're getting
those are
some
pretty
pros
solid.
back.
Yep.
Pro XR was basically DOA
Oh
Yeah.
my
or
gosh.
dead on arrival.
Yep. Hey man, whoa! They were the big innovators with their reload speed.
That still cracks me up. The
I can't-
faster reloads.
I need to find some of those commercials and just save them somewhere just for posterity. Just how
Dude,
ridiculous
I
it
know
was.
that was crazy.
But does anyone know the reason they got saved?
Yeah, Zane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's Zane.
And Zane said, "Get rid of that stupid butt cap on the bottom."
Did
of
Zane
the paddle."
actually say that though?
Well,
I
think
can't confirm that, but I'm sure he didn't like it.
my guess is that he was like, on my paddle, you ain't
Dude,
gonna
look,
have that.
Johnson Cola signed with them. They made him a signature paddle. It had that dumb little axe butt cap.
His was not that bad.
wasn't that bad. But then what? He was signed with them for a few months, and then he was like,
It's like
They
less than
out.
6 months,
He's
and then
like,
he went to
I'm out.
Selkirk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then Zane comes along, no stupid axe handle, and now
Mhm.
they're big,
Yeah, I mean they're doing great now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People love their paddles.
and they own Paddle Tech now.
Yeah. Onyx was kind of already on the way out. I feel like,
When
but
we-
people still use that white one.
They do?
No, did.
Oh, did.
Back in the day
did.
when it
Okay,
started.
yeah.
There's a few people. One of our like local 5-0 guys
Was it the
was
Premier?
using one.
Yeah, the
yes,
Premier.
the Premier.
People
was
still
like
use that's one.
gray.
Like
No,
that
not
right-
still, but
Oh,
like back in
back in
2021.
Okay.
Did.
Yeah. Do you still see Onyx?
No, I literally
I
never
have-
see them.
What's that raw carbon fiber one they have?
What is that one called?
I see like one. There's like one or two
It's
people
on
have
the-
that in
Here's
my
the thing.
Think of it.
my
when
courts.
3 people whose job is basically reviewing paddles doesn't know the name of that paddle, that should tell you the obscurity that Onyx has faded to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but-
Onyx has
so-
only started getting talked about again because of the whole potential thermoforming lawsuits.
A bunch of people in our,
Stupid.
and maybe not a bunch. I think I saw like 2 people comment on one of our recent podcasts when we said, "Oh, Onyx is dead," and they were like, "But they have Matt Wright, one of the best players." Okay, just because one guy is getting paid a ton of money to use a paddle does not mean that this company's still relevant, because
Yeah.
no one out in public is using this paddle.
Yeah, I do not see
and
the
by
paddle
that
anywhere.
they are irrelevant.
No, but well, actually, you know why this is all wrong?
Why?
There's one thing. I'll just give
The
you guys
ball?
one guess. No.
Hmm.
Give you one more guess why they're still relevant.
What?
You guys are going to feel so silly when
Oh,
you don't think of
gosh.
this.
The ball.
No.
It's
No?
not the ball. What is
Now
not
the
the
ball's
Dura?
gone. No one cares about the Dura.
Come
Come
I do
on,
feel really
think about
dumb.
it.
What
This
is it?
I don't know.
The Z5.
Oh, come
the
on,
Z5,
the
your favorite
Z5.
paddle.
Because that thing
Yeah, that
still
thing's-
sells like hotcakes.
Yeah, it does.
I just don't know how. How much is it now? Is it still $100?
It's like 90 to 100.
90.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah, it
that's
sells in all the big
wild.
box
But
stores.
here's the thing. It's because of the big box stores. So like what
Yes.
we see in like a competitive scene obviously does not translate to like mass market and sales. I'm sure Onyx is actually probably doing reasonably decent sales wise because of those more budget friendly paddles like Z3, Z5, all that.
Mhm.
But yeah, that Z5 just keeps
Well,
trucking
it's
along.
funny because when we first got into pickleball, we bought, I think it was, right? We bought our brother a Z5 for his birthday.
Your pad?
What or did no. What happened was he bought his first paddle he bought was a Z5, and then he left in his car, and someone broke into his car and stole his Z. They shattered his window, stole his Z5,
Yep.
and then we bought him another paddle after that for his
Damn.
birthday.
They wanted that Z5.
That Z5 was hotcakes back then, man.
Oh my god.
They wanted it.
So anyways, those are brands that have just kind of gone like this. It's
Yeah.
just been interesting to see
Yeah.
what has happened.
And the
And then
big
all-
one, the first like really big one that kind of blew up that was out of nowhere was Diadem with the Warrior.
Died.
Well, but here's the thing. I don't know if we can say nowhere because we kind of came in when that was coming out. So like, I don't really know what Diadem was like.
That's what I'm saying. They came out of nowhere. When we first got in, we didn't know about them. Then they just came
Well, but
in.
that could have just been an us thing.
It
Yeah,
could have been a
'cause
local
you-
thing.
yeah. 'cause it was
I
you
just mean
guys.
like we were just oblivious. But I agree.
Maybe.
When the Warrior came out, I was like, oh,
That's different.
that's like when I got into paddles and I was like, oh, wait, this thing has 3 cores. I was like, that's interesting.
Unique.
The handle's like a little slimmer. And then I kind of almost like a Selkirk, and I would imagine this is how they feel about it too. But like, I don't feel like they're not having pros or anything. They're just kind of like, they
They're
have these
still selling.
paddles that are like second mover style besides like these like illegal ones like the Hush.
I was
and
gonna
Vice.
say we can sum up Diadem by they lost Auchan, they lost their pros, and then they decided to become the specialists in making illegal paddles that will never be approved.
Well, we can't say never. You never know with the regulations.
Okay,
But
at least device.
I feel like that was kind of my perception. It's like Warrior, I was like, this is a really good paddle. I love that paddle. I used it for months. And then Diadem just hasn't really done anything interesting since then.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
But I know people in Florida love it.
Yeah.
They have,
Yes,
they have a
I've
facility
heard,
there.
I've
People
heard a lot of
around
people in Florida use
Texas
them.
and Oklahoma still like that paddle
Yeah.
as well. Like the Edge, the 18K Edge,
Yep.
the Edge Pro. They like
we know
that.
a guy that uses the Speed Pro, the
Yep.
13 millimeter one.
Yep.
Mhm.
And
what-
one of our local facilities sells Diadem edges like hotcakes.
Yeah.
Like people love to buy them.
What about Franklin?
Oh, Franklin was
Oh,
definitely. Well, they're
dude.
kind of in
They're
like
such a funny
Here's
one.
what's happened.
Yeah.
They were like pretty top. They had
Because
great
Ben
pros.
Johns and
They had a
Zane, Leia.
cheap paddle,
Yep.
and it was like everyone loved it because it was like so cheap. And then that one stopped, and then it, we don't even have to say. We're not even going to say the name. We all know what happened.
Do we?
We'll just
remind me. I don't quite remember. What was it? What was it?
we'll just do them a solid, and we'll just not talk about
Okay. You don't want to do another.
I mean, we
nasty
flamed
email.
Engage with the Pursuit Ultra.
it. Yeah, now I think they know we don't need to be jerks. But
Okay.
all right, that paddle happened, and then they're kind of like on the comeback up. Like they just got Paris. They have the Johnsons. I'm almost surely blanking on one other pro. Feel like I am.
Yeah.
Hayden.
Hayden. Yeah, that was
one.
an
Yeah.
obvious one. I can't believe I forgot. But anyways, they've got these pros. Their new paddles are actually pretty decent, and they're actually at a pretty good price for what they are. The main
Like
problem was
$100.
just that they were kind of heavy. I think they were between 130 and 150
Oh,
before
okay.
a code.
Not terrible.
So it's even cheaper after a code.
They're just really heavy.
But they have the 12 millimeter Featherlight. That one's actually kind of interesting. Probably not going to be super stable, but I think I clocked the swing weight at like 99.
For the
12 millimeter
square
Featherlight.
one.
Yeah, the square one.
square one,
But
not
even
the
the
elongated.
the elongated was under 110.
yeah. Yep.
So they kind of had a similar wave where it was like here,
down.
and now they're kind of like
The riding the
moving
wave.
back up.
Yeah,
So
it
I
was-
wouldn't be surprised if the next release they have is actually kind of interesting.
Hmm.
So I don't know. It's funny to see the wave.
And
for
now
brands.
they have some like Eco Ball, right?
They're working on it. I don't think it's out yet.
Can't wait to see more of those. I guess the innovation within the ball.
Yes, me too.
All right. Also, the interesting thing has been seeing like smaller companies that came up.
Oh my gosh, so many companies came up.
But like,
Dude.
so it's interesting. I'm probably missing a couple, and I apologize if I'm missing some of you. But so I made a list of just the ones that I think became bigger or more relevant in that like they were a smaller brand that came up and people kind of respect.
Yeah.
I'm just going to list them quick, and then we can go over some interesting ones. But so Ronbus,
Mm-hmm.
Carbon, 11624, 60, Vatic Pro, Bread and Butter, Volaire, and Honolulu Pickleball. I know there's a couple more I'm missing. I tried to look around, but those were the ones I have to tell.
Groovin.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they were. Yeah.
I would say some.
Yeah. Thrive's an interesting one. They became more relevant in the last year.
Yeah.
But I have to tell a story about Carbon.
What?
This is kind of a funny story, given where they are now and everyone's like waiting on this new
Yeah.
paddle.
Uh-huh.
So the first time I ever heard about them, it was like I was getting into reviewing paddles,
Yeah.
and David D from here,
Okay.
he was like, dude, there's this new brand called Carbon, CRBN. He's like, they got raw carbon fiber faces. And it's like, I looked at the paddles, and then I had the Electra Model E, and I was like, what's different? They're both black, and they look like they use the same face. I was like, who cares about this company?
Yeah.
And he was like, no, dude, like I got him to send some paddles. We'll hit them. And like I hit him, and I was like, oh, well, those paddles are actually pretty good. But what's funny to me about it is I was like, who cares about this company? And now Carbon
Carbon is
everyone's
up
like
there.
waiting on this new release.
One of my
yeah.
first tournaments I played in, I bought a Carbon from David, and I think I got second with it.
Oh, really?
Pretty cool.
Yeah, Carbon was actually the second. Rock. So I only knew when I started, I saw the Electrum Pro, which was, the only raw carbon fiber based paddle, and it was in that wide body shape,
The
right?
square.
The square.
Yep.
And then somebody at my local store, this was when I was still living in Northern Virginia in the DC area, somebody pulled out a Carbon, and it was elongated. And he's like, look at this. And I was like, whoa, I've never seen this before.
Long handle.
Yeah, long
Especially
handle.
as a tennis player.
Yeah, I was salivating. He's like, you never seen the raw carbon fiber face in this shape? No one has this out there. And I was like, nobody does. And yeah, I hit with it, and I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
this is nuts. And then like I went to go look at how much it was, and it was like, I forgot how much that first one was, like 180 or
100.
something.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's too rich for my blood. I went back to the Engage Encore, and I was like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Also, would you count 60 as a small brand when because they weren't.
They were nobody.
Yeah, they were pretty small when they got.
Yeah, they were no.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They
But
were
yeah.
nobody, and now
Oh,
they're
you
super
did mention.
relevant.
Sorry, you did mention 60. I didn't.
Yeah,
hear you say
yeah.
that.
60
okay.
is
I
like-
thought you left. I was like, wait a second.
60 is like on that tier 2. Like if tier 1 is like Selkirk and Yola, like Carbon, like 60 I think are in like the tier
Well,
2.
Yola technically came in as a nobody
Yeah,
when
you're
we
right.
started because
I mean,
I saw
that's technically
Chuck
true.
Taylor at our local PPA,
Mhm.
and I was like, because I played a lot of table tennis,
Mhm.
and because I always used a Yola paddle and rubber in table tennis, and then I saw them making pickleball. I was like, whoa, they're getting into pickleball now, and they have
Yeah.
a pro, and then
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, they just came out the gate. I mean, when you sign Ben Johns, your brand is going to blow up overnight.
you're
Right.
you're invested
Exactly.
in pickleball.
Or if you make an amazing paddle and then Chris happens to review it and loves it, then you're gonna be an overnight
A big-
success as well.
There's
That-
one brand I can think
that's
of.
happened. That's happened a couple times.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah,
Chris,
there's
has
a
it ever
few.
dawned to you like your like review of that? You know, it's funny because you were like, remember when we first talked about it, I was like, 60, who are they? They're just another raw carbon fiber paddle. It's the same stuff. And then you finally get it and you loved it. You did a review, and then I think it won one of your paddle awards. Like I think about it sometimes, like wow, like you literally made that brand. That's what I feel.
I don't know if I would say. I mean, the brand still has to like do the legwork. You can have like a good paddle, but if you don't do the legwork after, like it doesn't go anywhere. But like, I'm sure that type of stuff helps, obviously. But yeah, I think it's just been interesting to see like the brands that were smaller and just kind of like came up and have like continued to do a good job after that. Cause you know, that it doesn't always like go
Yeah, it's
that way.
hard.
And you still have to like,
You have to put in work.
to build a brand and like get to that recognition is not easy.
No.
Like that's hard.
And it is really cool to see brands that start from nothing and are now pretty big, like Bread and Butter, for example. I remember you got sent a prototype of the Filth and you didn't really want to hit it. But
Yeah, I
you-
just didn't really care.
Yeah,
I
you
was like,
gave
eh.
it. You gave it to me, and we're like, "Here, can you test this paddle for me?" I was like, "I don't really want to hit it." I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll hit it." And I was like, "This thing sucks." I was like, "I hate this thing. I don't even want to touch this." And then I actually went down to Florida I was filming the MLP Daytona,
Mhm.
and that's when I met Brendan Long. We became buddies.
Yeah.
And he gave me some lead tape, and I put it on there, and then I was like, wait
Oh,
a second. The
we got
filth is
something here.
unreal. And then it became like my favorite paddle ever since. It was crazy.
Yeah, that was pretty funny how that went. Because I don't know. I was probably working on a bunch of reviews, and I was like, also the one I had was kind of a prototype, and I was like, doesn't make sense to hit a prototype. It's like, you hit it.
Yeah.
So when he came back and said he loved it, I was like, okay, well, I guess we got to check this thing out. Sounds like it's pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. So that's been a cool story to see them go from like literally nothing and I've never heard of them to now they're a
Also,
pretty
like the marketing
recognized-
standing out is like, again, it's like,
Yeah.
there's so many ways to stand out, and like obviously good paddle is kind of like a base,
performance.
but like the marketing's just so funny.
so
The
good.
Like the
marketing.
donut eating contest,
that
was
was
hilarious.
I can't believe you guys did that.
Yeah.
Actually, I could believe it, but I was like, oh wow, they did it.
Okay, here's the thing. Did you see how badly we failed it?
Oh
Yes.
gosh, that was
Okay,
bad.
We had like, he probably got 2. I got like a donut and a half. Do you want to know how many the guy that won got? Did you see that?
No, I didn't. How much did he get?
You have 69 seconds. Guy did 13 donuts.
But he used water, didn't he? He soaked them.
Yeah, but that was fine. You could do that.
Yeah, but you told me that we weren't allowed
I
to. at
thought you
first.
couldn't. I guess I.
I'm not gonna say
Oh.
I would not have gotten 13, but I would have tried to soak them. I would have like
put
tried
13 in that
That's
time, and I got a
ins-
donut and a half.
it.
That's
Insane.
insane.
That is crazy. Well, I mean, he knew the strategies.
Dude.
But stuff like that, I don't know. I just feel like it stands out and is like
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
memorable.
yeah, it makes
so.
you interesting. It's like you're funny. Like that's the thing.
You have to have either like innovate or your marketing has to be on point.
Also, I can't remember if I said it earlier. I just don't remember saying it. But Vatic Pro was obviously in that list of
Oh,
like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
Vatic.
it was small and came up, and now the
And
president.
they got Augie.
Yeah, they have Augie.
Doesn't he have his own paddle now? They just came out with his own
It's
like
no.
well, it's
signature
like a
colorway.
colorway. Yeah, it's not his own
Yeah.
design, but a colorway, which looked pretty sick.
So, anyways, those were some of the brands that were small that I thought came up, and it's just been cool to see like all of them grow in their own like different way or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about like the actual paddle performance. The first thing, you know what, I haven't had to say in a really long time.
What?
Oh,
I'll
Oh,
just
there's a
say
paddle
in a review.
has bad spin.
Oh, I got it.
Oh,
I
go ahead.
I
Go.
know.
What is it? What is it?
I know. It's
I have an idea of what it is.
it's the handle.
The exposed
The
polymer?
exposed polymer in the handle.
Bingo.
job, teams.
Chris single-handedly changed the market
Stop.
by complaining so much about exposed polymer that brands were all like, "We need to stop this."
Yes.
It's him.
Good job, Chris.
I probably was the most vocal complainer about it, and I'm sure every time a brand heard me complain about it, they were like, "I'm gonna kill this guy,
Stupid YouTuber.
this stupid guy who reviews paddles." But it is like seriously, it's nice to not have that anymore because it was just paddles felt cheaper because of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Like I think we're getting to a point with pickleball paddles where like we've talked about this, the performance on all of them is so good. So like what's going to start setting them apart? It's going to be those small things like quality. How long does the edge guard last? Does the glue
Yeah.
constantly come up? Is the handle built
Aesthetics,
well?
marketing.
Aesthetics, like
Yeah.
just like the build quality is almost what needs to be focused on more than the performance of the paddle right now.
Yes,
Yeah.
I would agree.
Like
And
fix those things and stuff like the exposed polymer and a lot of handles used to be the oval
yeah, and now they're all octagonal.
octagonal tennis handles. Like that just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree.
So
It's interesting to see how that's changed so
Yeah.
fast.
I love
look
to
at
not.
this wall.
I love
well,
them.
I'm looking at the wall right now, and I'm like, I don't think there's a single paddle on the wall with exposed polymer.
Well, that's because they're all thermoformed.
Yeah.
wow,
they're all basically.
yeah.
You look at that wall, and there's really not a bad paddle out there, except for maybe.
that Pro Light down there and that Vulcan and Adidas.
Yeah, those are probably the ones. Why are they on your wall, Chris? How
They're
did
at the
they-
bottom.
I-
They're at the bottom.
I explained to you in the studio tour
Oh, right,
video
right,
why.
right.
Yeah, it's because it stands out on the wall because it's a black wall and it's hard to see.
All right, so
Yeah,
guys,
any
basically,
color.
if you're watching this, you're a brand and you want to have your paddle displayed on the wall, make sure that it stands out over black, because then there's a high likelihood that he'll post it on the wall. There you go.
That's-
You're welcome.
That's not how
man.
that works.
Never say I never did anything for you guys out there. All right.
But the next thing that I think was a big change, obviously, spin's gone up a significant amount.
Yeah.
It's been a slow climb, just
But I
consistent
mean, it's
climb.
also just like a lot of it's mostly just due to raw carbon fiber and people making it grittier, which
And also people just getting better.
that too.
Yeah.
But like also look at this. What's crazy to think about? Think about the drama we're going through right now. Do you remember when the like world's hottest drama was just the carbon gate and it felt like the
Oh.
world was erupting and then
Yes.
Paddles have definitely been much worse since that carbon gate.
The YOLO drama puts Carbon Gate to shame.
Oh my god, I can't believe I totally forgot about Carbon Gate, where it was like about the spin, and now all these paddles out here. I bet you even that Adidas battle or whatever.
Well, and it was crazy because
more
it
spin.
happened right over the U.S. Open, and it was like
and you banned
all
it.
the carbon players were banned from using the carbon during the U.S. Open, and I was like, they can't use their paddle anymore. What are they gonna do? It was crazy.
Yeah.
That was wild because back then J-Dub was signed with carbon, or
He wasn't signed. He was
signed,
just
but he was
using
using
it.
the carbon, and then he couldn't.
Well, I think he actually won. He won singles. He beat Ben, and then after that is kind of when the drama unfolded.
Yeah, dude, that was crazy. But now it's like, can we go back to that?
I mean, you touch some of these paddles, and you're like, I think it just cut me.
What do you think is the roughest feeling paddle you felt so far?
Oh, it has to
Well, consistently or just like a random one-off?
Consistently.
Pro XR probably?
Yeah,
It's
Pro
either
XR,
Pro
Valair.
XR or those alphas that we got.
Nah, but we already know that was an outlier.
Pro XR.
Yeah.
If you're talking consistently and doesn't
Consistently
have a
rough.
drama, the Pro XR.
Yes, easily.
Swear there's one other one I'm thinking of that's like always super gritty.
But yeah,
I feel
anyways.
like the Apollos are really gritty.
Well, yeah, those are also
The
pretty
Apollos are
gritty,
pretty
Really
for
gritty.
sure.
Always.
But I haven't seen enough in the wild. Like I've seen enough Pro XRs to like know how they consistently feel.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Power, obviously the recent. That's just the drama of the game right now.
Everything.
But I mean, we should have tried this.
What?
We should have. Man, I wish I had 4 of them. I don't.
Or what?
But if I had 4 of those old Franklins and we played with a Franklin ball, how different would that feel from pickleball right now?
Oh, you mean like the Franklin signature?
Yeah.
Huh.
Because
Wow.
I mean, think about like what we've been playing with like this whole trip, like the Ripple, whatever other like all these other power paddles. Like I feel like that with a Franklin ball would feel very different compared to the meta of the game right now, which is like power, 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 power.
Yeah, I would agree.
So I don't know, the whole like Gen 3 style
We do-
core stuff, thermal forming.
We do a challenge. This would be an interesting one
Maybe we'll
where
play tonight.
we play and we all start with like Gen 3s or Ripples or whatnot, right?
Uh-huh.
And then whoever wins has to go down in technology. Then you go to thermal.
the next
then you
one.
go to thermoform.
I like
then
it.
you go to Gen
reverse
1.
gun
Then
game.
you go back. It's gun game with paddles.
Gun game
Yeah.
with
Like
paddles.
every 6 points, you have
Yes.
to go down. Every 3 points or
3
whatever.
points,
3
yeah.
points, and
I
you
like
change
that.
paddles. Like that would be
But
really
And
interesting.
we end with a wooden paddle at the end.
yes,
I think-
that's that'd be cool.
I think if we're talking about like what like changes in pickleball that like I feel like have impacted the game a lot, to me, and I don't know how you guys feel, but almost the most enjoyable pickleball I have played recently is when no one has a crazy power paddle and we're on like a Franklin ball.
Yes.
I mean,
agree.
I don't know. Will and I had a really good time the other day when we were playing against you. We had a great time.
That in fact
Insert clip.
that in fact the worst pickleball, the worst form of pickleball in existence. Yep. We're not going to talk deeply about it because you already know why.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
the long story short, guys, is we're playing with a power paddle,
Mhm.
a wild power paddle. And let's just say that game of pickleball only lasted about 4 minutes and the game was literally serve, miss the serve, or return the serve and a third shot pass in doubles.
Yeah. But
Stupid.
it was, but also at the same time, I think that is due in part because of your skill level, Chris.
Bruh, he went there.
Look,
he went there.
When Will and I play together, both our dupers go up like half a point.
Yes, it
when we're
does.
combined, it's like
Okay, look, no, it's true. But also, I mean, obviously near the end, I played against Isaac, and Isaac, you had the Ripple, and obviously you weren't playing your best, but I was seeing the
he was
speed
playing
and the dip.
trash after he played against you.
Hey, you know, it's okay. It's just the effect I have on you guys when you guys are on the other side of the court. I get it. You guys are intimidated. It's okay. All right. Anyways, well, although it was fast and there was some heavy dips, I was just like, okay, this is a problem. But like, I think like, at least for me personally, I was like, okay, this would take like a game like to get kind of accustomed to. And I think it would have been okay. Not to say that it would be easy. And I would say for the average person, like, yes, it could be a problem and it probably will be an issue. But
Well, I think people can always adjust, like, you know,
Yeah.
a level of skill throughout like years of sports always like advances and continues
Yes.
to get better. I think that would happen, but I think my question is is that actually good for the sport? And like what
Yeah.
where
What do you want pickleball to look like?
exactly? And if you
Yes.
keep that trend, is that actually what you want? Because I think if we
No.
keep going like this, it's going to be bad.
It'll end up being really bad.
It'll just be pretty much tennis.
I mean, we talked about this.
Yep, we did.
If paddles continue to get hotter and hotter and spin gets more and more, particularly spin at this point, like let's just say they uncapped it. Singles would be so broken. It would just become tennis on a pickleball court because why are you going to run to the net when a guy can hit like a 80-90% drive that's dropping in the kitchen?
Well,
Yeah,
no,
but-
literally, because I just played against Patrick singles yesterday. The other day, we were goofing around. He was full pickleball clothes, court shoes, and whatnot. This is when I was watching you play that tournament. I had Jordans and sweatpants on, and I either aced him. I think I aced him like 10 times, or it was just the freest third shot pass I've ever hit. And I'm like not moving my feet because I'm wearing Jordans. So it's like if I can do that, that's just not fun.
Yeah, no, it's true. But also I think you unlock that once you get, I think 4 or 5 plus. I think
Unlock what?
Unlock that kind of gameplay with those paddles.
Like yes, I agree for sure. Like yeah, the much better players will take significantly more advantage of
Right.
Technology.
Right, technology, right, exactly. But I think, below 4-5 and like a 4-0 play, like if you give somebody that paddle, I don't think much will change.
Look, if we go out on a tennis court right now, you give me a wooden racket versus, I don't know, whatever Alcaraz is using, and I will not, it doesn't mean anything.
the only thing that I kind of think is what these paddles, particularly with more power and more spin, I'm going to say power mostly for right now at the lower level, it allows you for a longer period of time, and maybe this is an incorrect way for me to look at it, it allows you to basically play the game in a dumb way. Like let's say you could go 4-0 and 4-5 just being a banger because now you're just like overpowering people in a way that with paddles prior you couldn't do that. So it just feels less like pickleball.
Imagine if we went back in time and we took some of the power paddles that we have now. Remember when we'd play against some of these old ladies and we'd hit drives and be like, that's not how you're supposed to play the game.
Yeah.
And,
well, that's why I said like maybe my take is wrong because that's kind of what I'm saying right now.
Exactly. But could you imagine like if they were complaining about drives with like Gen 1 paddles and that stuff back then, and then we bring like these back, dude, it would. I don't know.
Well, I mean, also that's part of the reason why that the culture of pickleball changes. So people get clicky and whatnot because the better skilled players can handle that, and that's why they kind of go off and make their own groups and they don't play with, I guess, regular people, quote unquote, right? Who are just starting off. Maybe they're buying a beginner paddle and they don't have access to that, they don't have the skill, or they don't have the paddle technology, right?
I think to me, where I feel like it becomes a problem is like, okay, let's take all the games we played after he put that down, and we're talking about a 4-minute game. Like the games become much more even, became much longer, like closer or whatever.
It went
That is
from
what happened.
11-1 to like 11-7, 11-8, or even 11-9.
That is what happened when we played.
To me, that's I think what signals issues in my head is when a paddle for people that you can usually compete with, and all of a sudden they're blowing you out of the water. That just makes me go like, that paddle is problematic.
It went from being like same level to I'm like main draw pro against 4-0.
That's
it's
what
like
it felt like.
that's literally what it looked like. When I hit your partner with a serve.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah.
Off the bounce.
And like, of course, there are things, again, like you said, people will adjust, but I just think
Yeah.
feels like the wrong direction.
I would agree.
And stuff like that, it's like, okay, yes, players can adjust, but especially based on venues, like the serve is so hard now.
Yes.
That like if you play somewhere where it's just a little tighter,
Yeah,
then
that
it
space.
goes it gets exponentially worse. Like the power of it makes play so much harder because of the venue. Where if serves aren't that hard or paddles aren't as powerful, that doesn't become as much of a problem.
Yeah. I mean, just imagine at your local rec courts, and you don't have space, right? Because some courts are not the best built or they have the most space. And then, once you see that and somebody hits that and you can't return it because there's not enough space, then, it's not fun. Same reason why I guess the spin serve or the chainsaw serve was,
We were playing
illegal.
We were playing with Power Paddle the other day against you and our other brother, and our other brother's like, you literally have to put that paddle down. It's like I can't play.
We should do a match where it's like on one side you're allowed to get power paddles, and the other side they get chainsaw serves or spin serves. Which side would you be?
Oh,
I would
depends on the
rather be-
venue.
I would. Yeah, that
Depends on where we're playing.
That probably matters, but I
might still take the
I-
power paddle.
I-
You might still
I
take
think
the
I'm
power-
taking the power
that
paddle.
you would want to play against.
No, I'm taking the power. I'm
Like,
using it.
he's using
Oh,
the
what
power
you would
paddle.
rather have?
I'd
Yeah,
for
would you
sure.
rather
I
have?
think
I
I'd
would
for
rather
sure-
have the power paddle.
You
I'd
really?
rather- yeah.
I don't think. I think I'd
In
take
my
the-
current state of what my spin serve probably is, yeah, I'd take the power
Let's
paddle.
just say your spin serve or chainsaw
Prime.
serve at its prime,
Still taking the
and
power
you
think-
and you
paddle.
still get a Gen 2 like paddle.
I think I would still take the power paddle.
Really?
I think it's a bigger advantage than, like, maybe had we let it continue to develop and people kept finding crazier and crazier techniques. But the thing,
If I could make a choice right now to change all of pickleball, get rid of all these insane power paddles, but give everyone spin serves, I think I'd get rid of the power paddles and I'd switch everyone to having spin serves.
I would do that too.
oh man,
I think
they're both a
There was,
poison.
I
They're both
almost,
poison.
I
They're both
almost think there'd be
poison.
less drama
Both
in
toxic.
pickleball.
You think there'd be less drama?
Yes,
With the chainsaw
because
serve?
you wouldn't have all these companies suing each other over
Wow.
this paddle
Okay,
and
that's
that paddle.
true. But also imagine if you had the chainsaw serve, you could let's just you could say, all right, we're playing a game without chainsaw serves or spin serves, right? But then if everybody has a power paddle, it's not like you can say like, okay, I mean, you guess you could say, hey, switch to a non power paddle.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I just, man, I'm so torn on that. I'm just gonna go with both bad.
Yeah, both are
All
bad.
right,
Both are
If
fine.
we really want to dig deep.
but-
This guy's too nice.
But now here's the tricky thing, and with the whole power paddle thing, and we've talked about it already, but I'm just gonna say it again. One person had mentioned like in a pod that was like, yeah, I think a lot of people would be happier if we didn't have it, but since I can't stop you from using it, that means I'm gonna buy one because I feel like I need it to like kind of
Compete.
even the playing field. And
yeah,
I also feel that way too. While my personal taste of power for the game, like it's higher than what I would probably think is good for the game, I'm not opposed to using one,
yeah.
but I also believe that the game would be better without it. So it's not
Yes.
like, man, I'm gonna say you're a terrible person if you use this or blah blah blah. Like, I think it's fine to use if it's legal. Go ahead and use it. But I just think overall it'd be a net positive if we went a little lower.
I can't stop you from using it if it's within the rules, but that also means I'm going to use it.
Yes, you better watch out.
Mm-hmm.
We still need to do a game where we all have actually power paddles. I don't think we've done that before.
No,
No.
not on this show. We could do it though. We have them.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Maybe we have time.
We have a gearbox, a paddle tech,
Ripple.
a ripple, and then what's the fourth?
Mod.
Crazy?
A mod,
yeah,
Gen
mod.
3s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are the four
Yeah,
power paddles.
let's go do it.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Whoever gets to serve wins the game.
Nah,
Serve bombs,
I
then
don't know what
serve
you're
a
talking
third.
about. Nah,
Yeah.
I got you guys.
All right. I'm gonna cruise through this spot really quick because I think we were on the paddles long enough.
Yep.
But one thing that I think also changed a lot is just it became easier to understand like what paddle fits a certain person, like through different stats, and also I think people like the consumer has just gotten smarter over time. But back in the day, it was like,
Yeah, what'd you get?
what's the static weight?
yeah,
It
Marketing
weighs
terms.
7.9 ounces. I wanted 8.2. Now it's like, here's all the people knew what lead tape was, obviously, but like it's more known how
Why?
it impacts a paddle. This type of person should use this shape. Like,
thanks to you, John Q, and Braden. Pretty much, like single-handedly.
yeah, I think I
Did a
feel like
lot.
that's been really good for the industry just to have people. You can go in with a more educated decision of like, oh yeah, like I feel like these groups kind of fit me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's been
There's
like a really net
definitely some
positive.
things that we have started to implement that have not necessarily forced, but gotten companies
To
to
change.
add and change
Yeah.
their paddles, like adding swing weight numbers to their
Yeah,
paddle on their
Selkirk does that
website.
now.
Selkirk does it. And it's
Obviously,
like
Thrive was the first person to
Thrive was like, they are really serious about having those numbers and stats on all their paddles and whatnot. So it's like, I feel like a lot of the YouTubers,
Yeah, made
us,
that.
you, Braden, John,
Yep.
like kind of deserve a lot of credit for that.
Maybe I'm being too like.
Yes, you are.
I'm just imagining the way this that sounds like whenever you're like, oh, we're responsible for this. I'm
And
just
we
like,
are.
it sounds like
We're arrogant.
Yes.
Yes,
I know.
it does.
Yeah.
And I recognize that it sounds arrogant.
It's okay.
But part of it is
But it's like, I'm still going to say it anyways.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to say it, Chris. I'll say it for you.
Nah, I just,
I know that's not how you feel, but I'm gonna say it.
I do think that all of the reviewers like doing that has like helped shift the industry that way. But I would have hoped that companies would have started taking that stuff more
Look,
serious, even if we hadn't done
you
it.
can't deny the fact that not specifically us, but YouTubers in general have shifted a lot of the market and changed the market in many ways.
No, I agree with that.
Thank you.
But the companies also don't always think that it's shifted in a proper way.
Well, that's also true.
And not even, I don't know. I've just had some interesting conversation with paddle companies, and like in some ways they're like, I think they've made it worse. And I was like, I don't know. It's just kind of interesting.
It depends on what they define as worse. If it means
Worse
them,
for them?
Yeah, worse
or
for
worse
them
for
because-
pickleball.
right?
Because like, okay, a company might
probably
say,
worse for them.
You might
Yeah.
say, oh, you made it worse for us because now we have to fix this exposed polymer and every paddle costs an extra $2. Yeah, they're gonna lose
Sure.
out on profit. But for all of pickleball, it's better for the consumer. It's better for it's just all of pickleball. So sure, they have to spend a little more. They lose a little bit of profit. But I think because of that, now pickleball is better.
Maybe. I mean, I would agree with that. I don't disagree with it. I think we're in a better spot than we used to be.
Yes.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I think we
just-
hold paddle companies accountable to making better products.
That's what that is our job.
That is literally our job. That is
And
like a
that
job
is
description right
quite
there.
literally why the pickleball studio exists.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's go on to, we're probably going to skip through some of these things here, but I want to talk about content
Yes.
and how
Yeah.
content's changed. I mean,
Dude.
content is the reason you and I even know each other.
Yes, content is crazy. But remember when we first started content in the pickleball space like 3 years ago? I mean, it was garbage. Straight garbage.
That's why Christopher started making content.
I know. That's why. Well, I don't know if I started making content, but I was thinking about it and I felt that way. And I was like, I need to make content. Like me trying my absolute like bare minimum is going to be better than like 90% of the stuff out there.
Yeah.
It's the
Well, that's a little savage.
The last 5 minutes of this pod is like the ego podcast.
Let's go.
Holy moly.
that went a little far. Yeah. That one was
Clip it.
clip it.
Oh my word.
Clip it.
Guys, I promise. I guess I can't. I'm only going to speak for myself.
That's
My
right.
ego's not this inflated. but I do think like con has changed a significant amount. One, there was like very few content creators
Very few.
back in the day. Like it existed, but it was not really even a thing that people were like, oh yeah, we want to do this. Pickleball just almost wasn't big enough yet.
But almost specifically for paddles.
Well, yeah, paddles. There was barely
There's
any.
There was
There's
literally
Braden
nothing.
was
The
existed
first.
before me.
Yes.
He was like
The
one of
first
the
Avenger.
first.
He's the first
He
Avenger.
first
was the
Avenger.
first.
He's the
Captain
Yeah.
America.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, he just earned Captain America title.
I mean, I gave
Well,
that to him the last time.
Yeah, we talked about
the
this.
first time we all met.
Is that actually the title we gave
Yes,
him?
we
Yeah, I
gave him Captain America. You're
You're-
Tony Stark.
You're Tony Stark.
Yep.
John Q is the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah,
Bruce
because
Banner.
he's got the big guns.
And I'm either Nick Fury because I brought you all together, or I'm Spider-Man.
Yep.
That works.
There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think it's been really cool to see because like, well, okay, first, why did you start making content?
Honestly, I was just bored for the most part. I mean, my first videos was just me voicing over like a match play I had when I was back in DC in Virginia. And then I started making content. My first content where I was like, okay, I'm going to make an actual like video and put a lot of effort into it was explaining the chainsaw serve because I did it at a tournament when I moved to Oklahoma. And then everybody's just asking me, hey, how do you do this? Like, how do you combat this? How do you read it? And I was sick and tired of just explaining it to people.
You had a content creation background, right?
Yeah. I made content before with some of my buddies,
Yeah.
you know, just doing like a lot of stunts and like martial arts type stuff. And I was like, all right, let's do this. And I made it and I had a good time doing it. And then right around when my video came out, I think yours also came out on the spin server, the
Yeah.
chainsaw serve.
Very similar time.
Yeah, very similar time. And I remember seeing it, I was like, whoa, your video is freaking sick.
That was like a 30-some minute
It was
video.
like 40 minutes
Yeah,
long.
it was
It was
super
really
long.
Exactly. And that's when I hit you up. And I was like, yo, I really like your videos. Let's talk. Let's make some videos together.
That's when he threw the Hail Mary.
Yeah, that's when I threw the Hail Mary.
He
Threw the
said,
bomb.
please land, please land, please land. He's like,
Touchdown.
Hole in one.
Yeah,
he hit his hole in one.
hole in one. I mean, yeah, that's, I mean, it's just kind of fun to see how it started. Cause like for me, I didn't even want to make pickleball content. In fact, when I started playing pickleball, I told Sarah, my wife, this is going to be a hobby. I'm not going to mix this with my job because kind of one of the reasons I got a little burnt out on speed cubing was because it was work and it was my hobby, and I really wanted to like stay good at it, and I couldn't do both. So it just kind of made me upset. And I was like, I'm not going to do that to pickleball. This thing is super fun. We're going to keep it fun. And then like 3 months later, I was making videos and I was like, that didn't last long.
And here we are. You got a whole entire studio set. You know, you got employees.
Employee.
Yeah.
I don't have the plural yet.
No.
Eventually.
One day, maybe. But the main reason I had started, so the first spin serve thing, that was just kind of, no one was talking about it and people couldn't read it. So I was like, well, I understand. I was like, I'll explain it. So that's why that first one got made. But then for paddles, to me, it was just like,
there's a missing piece. It's missing
Yeah.
in the market. Nobody was doing it.
no, Braden was there, but I don't even know if I knew about Braden when I started,
I definitely didn't.
because I can't remember when I first like realized who he was, but it just felt like every video someone talking about a paddle, like it was so clear that they were an ambassador for the brand or like an employee, but they weren't like saying that or whatever. And you couldn't find like an honest review. So the whole goal was just like, okay, well, I kind of did this with speed cubing. I reviewed the cubes. I could just do the same thing in pickleball. Like, I don't care if I say this thing's garbage.
And just personality wise for us, when we got into this, like, I can't say for you, but I know for Chris and I, like, we're very obsessed when we get into hobbies, and all we do is research things, you know? And so, like, when I got into pickleball, I started researching paddles, and I'm like, there's just
Nothing.
no
Can't read
anything out
anything. You
there.
guys were
I mean,
hungry for
literally,
knowledge.
the info was the marketing material.
Yeah.
And we
that-
know how good the marketing material these days is.
The only info I got on paddles was from people locally saying like, "Oh, this is good, because they've like hit it." But online, there was nothing.
Yeah. So that's kind of how it started for me, and it's just been when we met. I think this was a fun fact for numbers. So when we met,
Yes.
I had just below 3,000 subscribers.
Yep. I had 300 or like below 500.
Yeah,
I feel
like below 500. Now I'm at like 31,000, I think.
Yeah.
And you just passed 10.
I just passed 10. Yep. It's
So
crazy.
I like 10x'd and you like 20x.
I mean, if you put it that way, it sounds more impressive than it really is. But yes. So,
Technically true.
I mean, it's technically not wrong.
Yeah.
But that's crazy. Like how much that's grown
yeah.
since we met.
Yeah,
That's
since
only
we
in 2
met.
years.
Right. It feels like I've known you forever.
I know.
But it also feels like I just met you last year.
I know. It's
It's
super
such
weird.
a weird thing.
It's really weird. And I don't know why it feels that way.
I don't either, but I like it. I don't dislike it.
No, I don't dislike it either.
Yeah.
So one thing we're gonna laugh about this.
Oh,
Only one of them. Well, we're gonna laugh at me.
Okay.
Let's be real. We're gonna laugh at me.
All right.
I want to go over how our dupers have changed.
Oh
yeah.
God.
Okay, so when we met, because
Mhm.
you have it in the video that we
Yes.
first made together.
Yep.
Our duper ratings.
Yes.
My duper, 4.0 doubles, 4.29 singles.
Hmm.
You, Will,
Yes.
you were a 4.87 singles and a 4.42 doubles. So you were better at both of those than me.
Mm-hmm.
Isaac, we don't really know, but he was like a 3.7.
Mine was around 3.7 to 3.8
'Cause
for doubles.
Duper won't let me go back
and
that far.
I didn't have a singles duper back then.
Yeah.
Mm.
Now let's go into current. We're going to go backwards.
Okay.
Isaac is a 5.28 doubles,
Oh, nice.
4.81 singles.
Okay.
Will
Yep.
is a 4.98 doubles and a 5.46 singles. Okay?
Uh-huh.
Mine, 4.7 doubles. That's great. I went up 3/4 of a point for doubles.
Yes.
Are you ready for singles?
Yeah. What
And
is
let's just remind everyone what the number before was. It was a 4.29.
Okay. So
Currently,
you
I'm a 4.27. But
Oh
But here's what's funny.
Uh.
I know for a fact
yes.
I am way better at singles than I used to be.
You
Oh,
are.
yeah.
I mean, we even just refilmed a singles match
Yes.
To-
Easily way better.
to commemorate like the first video we made together.
Yes. We'll link those down in the description.
And it's all because of when I went to Newport
Yeah.
and just got my butt absolutely handed to me in singles.
Thanks.
My duper just dropped like a rock. But when I saw I was making these notes, I was like,
How did I go
how
down?
did I go down?
It's kind of crazy. And to put this into perspective, for me at least, when I met Will,
Mhm.
to think about it, back then, Will wouldn't even touch me with a 10-foot pole to play with me as a partner. And now we're out here playing, and we got second at
Texas
PPA Dallas.
Yeah, we had a good look to get gold there
We had
too.
a really close run, went to
Mhm.
3. It was like 11-8 in the third.
Yeah.
And so that was 5-0 men's doubles.
Mhm.
And now, hopefully eventually we're going to be doing some qualifiers together.
Yeah, we'll
So
play
to
some.
go from like like he wouldn't even think of playing with me as a partner to now like we're a really sweet team.
Yeah, I still think I probably played the best doubles with you, and it's really crazy because we don't play together that often.
Ever.
It's not like I come up here to Minneapolis or you see me down like in Texas or Oklahoma that
I think
often.
we've actually played together a total of 5 times.
Yeah, I think
ever.
so. Like, yeah, I think so too, which is kind of nuts.
You know what I heard? I heard that your duper rating or how good you are at pickleball is highly inverse correlated with how good you are at making content. I think that's what it is.
I help make your content.
I finished the content.
No, that's so funny. But yes, from when I first met you guys, I was like, oh man, these guys are easy money. Now though,
okay.
Yeah.
It's serious and like genuinely answer fully honestly.
Oh, you know it. You know I will.
So singles, when we watched that video back, I'm like, oh my gosh, it was so garbage. Will looked like he barely had to try. Did doubles also feel that way? Because my perception of it from back then, and maybe you weren't trying as hard, but doubles, the parity gap did not feel that bad.
Yeah, the parity gap didn't feel that bad, but no. Doubles to me against you guys felt easy. I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
Fair enough.
You were hitting
Fair
stuff
enough.
I don't think I've never earned so much in my life. Like when I played it, when I came here to Minneapolis, I was earning you guys. I was like, oh gosh, these things are so high. Like, I was just like, okay.
That's hilarious. I wish we had more doubles videos from that trip.
I feel like I wish we had more too. But you're right, it was closer. But basically what I'm trying to say is not to say that you guys couldn't beat me, but like I was never scared of you guys.
Losing.
Yeah, I was never ever scared of losing. I was like, if I really wanted to, like I felt at the time, I was like, I could like just play my hardest. I could probably beat you guys 2v1. Like probably 8 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10. That's how I felt when I first met you guys. But now,
and now he still feels the same way.
Definitely not against me.
No, that wouldn't happen. There's
no way.
that
a 2v1 would definitely not happen.
No, definitely not. But it did happen once.
I remember like
it did happen once.
I remember seeing your duper start to go up. It was like close to 5-0, and I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's like a 5-0, and I was like a 4-0 at the time.
So it's funny, I was above 5-0. I think I was like, my highest ever was like a 5-2, and then it went completely down after Chris and I went to that duper tournament in Texas that one time,
when you had to deal with the wind.
When the wind,
oh my gosh.
and then like
so bad. It was so bad.
But I mean, like, I don't care honestly like that much. The memories, even though they were bad memories, they're still memories.
They're still core memories.
Core memories.
Oh,
I don't want that to be a core memory.
He wants to wipe that off his hard drive.
100%. But that is funny about the dupers, I think.
Yeah, that's really cool to see. Yeah, they were so low back then.
Yeah. Maybe for the 200th episode, I'll be even lower in
Oh my gosh, he goes down to 3.5.
Oh, where it needs to be.
That would be insane. So the next thing I just want to go over quick is like podcasts.
Yes.
So when we started a podcast,
we were like there was what 3?
There was like 3 or 4.
Which were they?
There was
Pickleball, the Dink.
There was the Dink, Eddie and Webby, Tyson McGuffin, and then I actually can't remember if It Feels Right. I don't think that existed yet. That came later. But yeah, there really weren't many. It was like very few, and I think that's kind of one of the reasons you even wanted to do a podcast. Well, there's not very many.
There's not. Yeah, exactly. I was like, it's kind of like low hanging fruit, and you and I, we talked so much about pickleball, right? Yeah. And I was like, dude, we have all this equipment. We might as well just turn on some mics, record it, and talk, and see what happens.
Yeah.
Right. And I know I was like, I was all about it, and then you were a little unsure just because you were trying.
It was the workload was the main issue. Is I was like, basically, if someone had said you will do 0 work but show up and talk, immediately I'd be on board. But I was like, okay, we're gonna have to edit this thing, we're gonna have to post this thing, we're gonna have to blah 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 blah. So that was like my main hesitancy.
Yeah. But I'm glad that we did it.
100%.
Right. It was probably one of the best things. I think this probably
I agree.
The best thing that we did. Like not even just collectively, but just like individually as well. Just to stay consistent and everything. I think more people know. I mean, obviously people know you regardless, but I think more people still know me as like a co-host on the Pickleball Studio podcast.
Dude, the amount of people that like think you own part of Pickleball Studio, like just the brand, or that like you're the same thing. I'm like, no, Will is his own thing.
Right. I'm completely like separate. But
it just cracks me up.
Yeah. I don't have any issues or problems being associated with you guys. I love you guys. I love this podcast. And like, I wouldn't be where I am, honestly, without you. Even you, Isaac, today, just learning the content and stuff. and everything, and just being consistent, really, even though my consistency has been ups and downs, but I wouldn't have stuck with it. So honestly, I'm like,
well, it helps,
grateful
to have
guys.
people who kind of like
are doing the same thing.
They're doing it with you and like lifting you up at the same time, same thing. If it was also only me doing this podcast, I promise you I wouldn't be at 100.
Right, exactly. But really though, I want to make the distinction, like, this is why I think you and I vibe, or that's why like I appreciate you so much, is because there's people who push you, and you're not someone who pushes me. You're like someone who like kind of pulls me. If that makes sense, right? I see you doing well. I see you doing this, and like it's like more like an inspiration. Like you're not pushing me. Like I want to be there with you. I want to like keep doing this stuff with you. You know what I'm saying? If you're doing, there's people who kind of push, like, oh, you need to do this. You need to do this now. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that would be less fun. But because I get to kind of go on my own pace a little bit, it's been way more enjoyable.
Sure. Yeah, no, that's totally fair. I think it's really cool. Like I don't know, just the fact that it's gotten to where it is, and like we've all kind of gotten to do it. I mean, I don't know. It's just a very cool thing. Like there's so many ways, like I feel like you could talk about it, but it just,
it's unreal.
Yeah. It's
really
like
is.
really, it feels surreal. Like it does not feel real to get
out
to
of all the jobs I've worked. I mean, I've done like everything. I've worked so many jobs, all the way from construction to sales to R&D and all this stuff. It's like, I mean, this is the last thing I would have expected to be. Right. If you told me 3 years ago that you're gonna be working for a YouTube channel like playing pickleball,
if you told me 2 years ago when we started this podcast that this is where we would be doing it and this is what it would look like, I absolutely would have thought it was a joke.
Yes.
Liar.
Remember when we first met? I think I was in the process of looking to like buy a house, and I was teaching you about like the home buying process, all the things you need to get together.
Amateurization, schedules, all that.
Yeah, all the adulting stuff, right? And because you were just like, oh, I'm not sure, or maybe you were just like, scared of it and whatnot. Now like we're here. Like look at this. Like we're in a house that you purchased just recently. Yeah. With the money you made on YouTube. Like it's really cool to see, and I've been able to see it. I think that's the coolest part. Yeah. Right. That's
it's crazy, but I have to, now there's a lot of podcasts, and I tried to find all of them. I know I'm missing some, so you were not left out intentionally, but this is how many more podcasts there are now. Yep. There's the Pickleball Effect podcast, the John Q podcast, Pickleball Pursuit, KOTC, James Ignatowicz Show, Sorry Not Sorry Pickleball, Building Pickleball, Briones Pickleball, Raise the Bar, Conversations with DJ, Tennis Sucks, Pickleball Connection, 4 to Pro, This Pickleball Life, and I know there's even more that I'm forgetting, but like, I feel like that's also really cool to see that our sport has continued to grow in a way that like people want to invest in something like a podcast and do it,
Yeah, talk about their community, talk about pickleball in general. And that's great to see. And that's like another way to just, I guess, promote pickleball and also show your love for your community, your local community, and what you're doing, whatever it is that you're talking about, so that's really cool to see. And I think we have always thought about, or people have maybe asked us like, hey, there's more people coming on the scene. Does that threaten you? Do you feel like there's too much competition? And I think you and I, we all have had that same idea. Like, no, we want more. Like only more can only help us, right? Because it grows the sport. And if the sport grows, then like our channels grow.
Well, it's been really cool too. Like, it was mainly the big kickoff was that Thrive trip to Vegas.
Yes.
Like just getting to be such good friends with, other
John
and
Braden.
stuff. John and Braden, like and you, like, it's just cool to have such close friends who do a similar job. And it's just really unique.
Man, I'm really proud of you guys. In a span of about 10 minutes, you managed to go from having an ego up here
to
like no level. I legitimately thought both of you were gonna look at each other, and when you started saying, are you guys ever worried or threatened that other people come in? I really thought one of you two was gonna say, "Nah, we're the best. Of course, we're not worried." So I'm proud of you guys. In about 10 minutes, you managed to mature a little bit.
We leveled it out.
That's how we actually are. You have to have a little bit up there sometimes. And then
look, it's like when you go into a tournament, you're not thinking, oh, I'm middle of the pack. No, you go into the thing you want to win.
Exactly. But
no,
you also
I go into a tournament and I say, I'm a 3-5. Why am I playing the 5-0 bracket? That's what I say.
No. See, this is why you don't succeed in those brackets, Chris. You don't have that mentality. You have to have that mentality like you want to win.
Yeah, if you're going in Texas,
you're going in there like thinking like you're already gonna lose. Well, to be fair though, sometimes I go in there because I don't care. I mean, you saw what happened.
Oh man, I had to drag Will out of the mud.
You had to get body bagged for me to like wake up like, okay, that's not happening. Nope.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right, but yeah, I had to throw it in there because I really thought one of you was gonna say it, and I was like,
No, we're not
oh my
that
gosh, you
bad.
guys.
No,
Are
no,
we
no.
really
It's
that
really.
bad?
I'm so glad to like pickleball has changed my life so much. To
Yeah.
like from what I'm doing for work to the friends I have and the connections
Yeah.
and stuff, and it's just really cool. Like I
We're
love
grateful.
pickleball and I love everything about it.
See, we're grateful. We're humble. You like, look, he wouldn't be your brother, and you and I wouldn't be
He
friends.
wouldn't be my brother
Yeah.
if it weren't for pickleball.
No. What I'm saying, he wouldn't be your brother if he had an ego that high. Like you'd probably disown him, right? Like he was that.
I don't know. The
cocky.
ego is pretty darn high. Do I have to disown him now?
I don't know. You tell me he's your brother right now. Is he still?
I mean, he is.
For now.
But we're gonna have to get. I'm gonna put you guys through an ego class and get that in check. My gosh. All right. Last thing I'm gonna say about content before we move on. Also, obviously, there's many more reviewers, which is great to
Yes.
see because I also think that's really good for the consumer. Like you
Different
just have more
opinions.
people to like go, okay, what are people saying? Do they say different things? Do they like you get more types of play styles that you can get opinions from, and I think that's really good for the consumer. So like
Yeah.
I'm glad everyone's doing this. Like
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah.
So
And hold on, real quick. This might be a little bit of an ego bump thing.
Oh, here
Now
we
that we're on the
go. Here we
topic,
go.
hold on. We skipped over. I feel like we can't skip over this because of our man here, Will. The Melons.
oh,
Like, dude.
how is this an ego thing?
No. But because I feel like Will single-handedly got us and the entire pickleball community to get into melons. Like,
Great. Now it's back to look. We made everyone do this.
I'm not even kidding. Will's raving about these hats, wearing these melons, telling you about it, and you're like, that's dumb. He gifts you one singular melon, and then now all of a sudden we have an addiction. You've got like
You guys have a
13 of
problem.
them. I have like 12 of them. I just bought another one. Not only just a melon, but I went out. I'm seeking the internet. I found a vintage limited edition
Yes.
melon, and I'm spending dumb money on these things.
Yes, you have a problem.
I do.
I knew you had a problem when you were looking at stuff and you're looking for a vintage one and you're like, oh man, $200 for this, dude, that's a steal. And I was just
For
like,
a hat,
yeah, I was
bro.
like, dude, bro, are you listening to yourself?
So I'm just saying, like, Will kind of single-handedly got not only us,
No,
but
look.
blew
This
up
is
the
now
pickleball
no.
community.
Look, I saw his head twitch. I think it grew a little bit when you said all that. I literally,
I don't know. The cap is still the same.
No,
size.
Stretching.
it's a little, it's stretching. Here's the thing. Here's what's crazy about this. I'm going to tell this story exactly how it goes because everyone's like, why do you like melon hats so much? Like, okay.
Uh-huh.
Will tells me about these hats and he goes, it's $70. And I said, and I was wearing hats and I said,
You
that
on
is
crack?
so stupid. Why would anyone buy a $70 hat?
Mhm.
And I was like, I'm not going to buy that. I was going to buy it with all my hats. Okay. And I was breaking hats pretty frequently and having to throw them
The
away
amount
because they
you
get too
sweat,
dirty.
they were done after a session.
Yeah, they weren't great. Okay, he gifts me one.
Mhm.
I try this hat. And I'm like, it's like, dang, he was right. This is a really good hat.
And now look it behind you.
No, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, look what he's done. Look, those hats on the wall. That's not even all of them. Okay, I got more upstairs. I got maybe 4 more upstairs, including the ones on my head. Okay,
Boy, he had to think about that. He's like,
I don't even
40.
I don't even know if that's correct. I own like 15 of these hats. Okay, and I was doing the math.
Yeah.
I have not paid full price for pretty much all of them. Like maybe once or twice I've done that.
Discounts.
Yeah, because like referral codes, whatever, I get like $20 off. Something. Anyways, I did the math. Well, even
Yeah.
after discounts,
Yep.
I've spent like $900 on these hats.
Now,
I'm not gonna pull up a calculator and do all the nerd math here, but do you know if I put $900 into a Roth IRA
Okay.
and I let that grow from like age 28 to 65,
Uh-huh.
tell you what, it'd be worth a whole lot more than those melons on my wall right now. So
I don't know. These things are appreciating. I just bought one for.
What that is kind of the crazy thing. I'm not gonna. No, but seriously, if you look at the buy sell trade group, a lot of these do appreciate
Dude,
in
it's
value.
crazy.
It's crazy.
So our brother, one of the first melons he bought
Yeah.
is like a limited edition
It was
special
$80.
one. It was
Okay.
like $80, right?
Oh, the Ryan Sheckler
Now
one.
Ryan Sheckler special edition hat. Now it's just a black plain hat.
Yeah.
It's now selling for anywhere between $300 to $500.
That's crazy.
And it was $80.
So you know what? Maybe this appreciates in value faster than the Roth IRA.
In the matter of a year.
You guys have like I love my Bella house, but you guys are at another level.
Here's the thing. This is the reason I just ended up liking him so much. One, I just wear a hat all the time now because I'm just hitting that age where you're just starting to lose hair. And
Oh,
you're
Can we
like,
see? I don't even
Nope,
know. I don't
nope,
think I've
we're
ever
gonna
seen
keep
you.
this
People
without-
don't even think you have hair.
That's funny. People actually, they'll see pictures of me like without a hat on, and they're like, "Oh, Chris looks weird without a hat." And I'm like, "You're right. I do look weird." But so I just, it's to me, it's like the one thing that I'm like, this is like my little
Yeah.
fashion thing.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a fashion guy at all. Couldn't care less. But I'm
Yes.
like, this is the one thing I'm like, oh,
Yeah, you accessorize.
yeah.
Dude, now
That's
you're,
right. Look at
you're-
that wall.
You're now a person who wears color.
I know.
Wow.
I basically just wore black all the time before
Before
you.
I thought it was just because you were colorblind, but now I understand now. Like now you like color. I was like, oh, wait, Chris does like color. Right, when I met you, all black everything.
This
I was like, man, who died? Is there a funeral today and tomorrow and the next day?
and every day that
Yeah,
Chris is out and
every
about.
day.
Here's the thing. If there's anything to take away from this podcast, it's that if you buy one of these hats, you're going to spend more money and you'll probably have less money in a retirement
Just,
account.
you
Blame
know,
this guy.
If you're married,
Sorry.
open up a secret credit card.
Oh,
That is your
gosh.
Melin credit card, so your wife doesn't find out.
This,
This guy's
This-
trying to end marriages
yeah,
right here.
seriously, what the
Yeah,
heck?
tell him. Tell this man to calm down. Tell Isaac to calm down.
Anyways, that's the
Rein in
story of
your
the
employee.
melons. We had to tell the story of this because we just thought it was funny. Because, I mean, here's what's funny. I do, like, when I think about, like, how many hats I own, I'm like, this is so ridiculous. And then I go to the Melon website and I go, yep, I'm going to buy another one.
Dude, I've got like 4 melons in the cart right now.
Also, let me just for, like, full transparency here. Actually, really quick, I'm not even going to pause the pod. Just check that camera quick because the tally light isn't on. I actually think... Yeah, I think that one actually, that one did fill up. So my camera this whole time, we'll have to use the wide for a lot of this pod. I forgot that one actually did run out of space. Well, the problem was there was only one card in it. And I guess that card just filled up. You can just steal that card that's over on that table there. Should be right there and just pop it in.
Oh.
Might as well turn me back on. So, who knows? Maybe people will be benefiting not having to look at me as much on the pod.
No way. No
Yeah, you
way.
can just take it out.
It's
and
the
set it
100th
out over
episode.
there.
It wouldn't be the 100th episode without some technical difficulties.
Yeah, that's funny. You know, it's funny. You even looked at me and said, "Hey, do we got to worry about that?" And I said, "Nope."
Yeah, I know. I was like,
At least we still had this camera.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what? We celebrate our mistakes too.
Yeah,
Yes.
dude.
All right. Anyways, that's the story of Melon. We just had to tell that. It's all Will's fault.
Sorry,
And
guys.
If I'm homeless one day on the street, it's because of these hats. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Basically, with these hats, all my like fun discretionary money
Mm-hmm.
literally just goes to these hats. Like I don't, because pickleball is like my thing, a
Yeah.
hobby. I'm like,
Don't do anything.
You should just change that in your budgeting system. It's not fun money, it's melon money.
I might as well
that's
be.
so funny.
anyways. All right. We've made it to the kitchen.
Yeah.
My camera's back on now. That had to have been off for like at least 30 minutes. That's going to bug me while I'm editing this. What are 100 episodes in and we still couldn't figure this all
man,
out.
here's the thing.
Yeah.
It's we only improve by our mistakes. So we make a mistake, it'll be better next time.
Well, at least we weren't out of focus. I guess we don't know yet.
Wow, Will's here.
Every time Will's here, we're out of
Whoa,
focus.
whoa, whoa. I
Will's
did not
here.
touch these cameras. Y'all can't be blaming this on
Yeah,
me now.
But you're in the frame.
you're
I think
here.
you just...
You just have that effect on cameras, out of focusness.
All right. Anyways, we've made it to the kitchen. We
Yeah.
wanted to just do a big...
Reopened.
Yeah.
The kitchen was closed last week. We
It was?
reopened the kitchen.
Labor Day. Close for Labor Day.
Yeah, we closed for Labor Day.
Anyways, we did a big Q&A. We asked for a lot of questions on Instagram.
Mhm.
You know, we're going to try and go through this because we're already like
how-
2 hours deep.
Whoa.
So
It did not feel like 2 hours.
It does not. It's been good. You Californians are gonna love this pod.
that's right. All right. First question.
Yeah.
You're stuck on an island and you can only bring one item, one person, and one food.
Hmm.
What will it be? Who wants to go first?
Will?
All right, one item.
One person and one food.
Dang, one item only? Okay, here's the thing. This is what I do, okay? I would collude with this other person, okay?
Okay, fair.
Okay.
They didn't specify that in the rules.
No, they didn't, okay? I would collude with this person. I'd pick Chris, okay? I'm bringing a pickleball. You got to bring a paddle. We got to play pickleball. I don't know what
Wait,
you choose the food.
Wait, hang on. There's a problem.
Oh, crap.
We only have one paddle.
You know what? Just make it
No.
just make it one of them starter.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of
I was
those-
gonna say that's because this was what I was thinking too. Here's
Yeah.
what you do. You collude with the other person. I bring a court. They bring a
A
pickleball.
court?
Yeah. I bring a court. It's an item.
Yeah,
it's
look
a court.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
And then they bring a pickleball set.
I'll let
you
you
know.
live.
It might be like an SLK or no, it could be the Friday set. You
Okay.
know, boom. There's
Okay.
your set.
Wait, maybe we cheat this system a little bit.
Yeah.
What? How?
Okay, this is interesting. So we could all get ourselves on the same island.
Oh.
So here's what and then we can have
We
lots
all
of stuff.
bring our own other
So here's-
person. So it's 6 people.
Well, no. But see, I don't know if that guarantees we all end up on the same island. So the only way to do this is Will picks me as the person. I pick you. And then you have to pick Sarah because my wife will kill me if she's not on that same island. But we can't get you on.
You can't make me pick her. Will picks me. I pick you. Then you pick
Okay,
your
sure,
wife.
that works. That works fine. But that's not the order he picked. But I'm just saying, she's got to be on that island one way or another. And the way it was going, if I picked her, you're not there. So I'm just saying, this is the loophole to get us all on the island.
Okay.
So now
Okay.
we've got a whole pickleball court and we got the ball, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
We got our items set. So I guess that's how we're going to cheat this
That
thing.
is
Yeah.
what we're gonna do.
Now we pick food.
Well, and I guess we all picked you have to pick a person.
I pick a person.
Well, because he picked me, I picked you, and you had to pick Sarah.
Nah, see, because
Yeah, see?
we go the other way. Yeah, I pick you.
So then,
Will picks me. You pick your wife.
Okay, there
okay,
you go.
well, okay, all whatever, it all works out. So now we've got 4 people on
Yep,
this
we got our
island.
4 people.
Sweet.
Okay, now what are we bringing for food? I'm sorry.
Muffins. I know it.
yeah,
Just-
Yeah,
I knew
yeah.
it.
It's
I
either
knew
chomps or
it.
muffins for this guy.
Oh
he
my
might like strangle
gosh.
one of us to make us pick chomps.
I don't even know what food I'd bring, dude.
See,
So
okay,
much.
but we kind of talked. Does it replenish each day?
I'm just gonna assume it replenishes.
Yeah, we got it.
Okay.
Has to. It replenishes. Okay, so what are you bringing?
I need something that can be made in many different ways.
muffins.
No, get out of here.
Blueberry,
no, you get one kind of
chocolate
muffin,
chip,
not a category.
raspberry.
Just
Like,
one muffin.
The first thing that came to mind was like,
Pistachio muffins.
Those
oh
are
my
great.
gosh. I was thinking
Almond
like
muffins.
eggs or something because like eggs can be like scrambled and fried and whatever.
But you don't have a pan to cook it in.
I don't know. We'll figure it out. Just tell Sarah to bring the pan, okay? That's her
That's her item.
okay?
You can play pickleball with it, and
Yeah.
you can cook in
Hey,
it.
there you go. See, this man's thinking. Okay. Shoot.
I'm picking like I don't know rice.
Rice? You
Rice.
eat regular rice, like for the for I don't know how long, the rest of eternity. You know
People
what?
have done
you,
it.
You pick rice. I'll bring eggs, rice. Hey, bring some soy sauce, Chris, or something. I
Maybe
don't-
Sarah brings the
Forget
soy
you
Oh,
guys.
you
sauce.
had
I'm bringing
muffins,
my-
you had
I'm bringing
muffins.
He got the muffins.
Oh
Get outta
gosh.
here.
All right.
That was a funny question.
That's a
That
good
was
one.
a
I
good
I
kind of
like.
liked how we did that.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was pretty great. Okay.
Oh, he's laughing.
I
already.
I didn't even think about that we were gonna have to do this. Who is the most famous pickleball persona that would accept a FaceTime call live on the pod?
I thought about this earlier, and I've got a couple people in mind.
I think I have my answer.
I-
famous.
Are we
Most
gonna
famous
call them?
person in your phone that would answer a call live on the pod.
Are we gonna
right
call them right now?
now. Yeah, I think we have to.
Okay. There's one person I really want to. Okay, it specifically says FaceTime, but he has an Android. So
well,
is
it
he
doesn't
off
count.
limits?
He's off limits.
Okay.
I don't.
Well, first, okay, who's the person you would actually call right now?
Right now, well, the only person in my phone that I think would necessarily count is either. I feel like my main pick is who you're gonna pick, which is Kyle Kazuda, or
Oh, absolutely not. It wasn't going to be Kyle.
No?
Kazuda. Come
Okay,
on, I
well,
got a better
no,
one than that.
that was the first one that came to mind.
Is just famous person in general or
Famous
famous
person, pickleball
In
persona.
pickleball.
pickleball persona?
Yeah,
he's
my-
not necessarily.
I mean, it was the first people that was Kyle, Jordan, Zane. Like those are the first
yeah,
people that came to mind.
I mean, Zane is like the most well-known person in my phone.
Zane was the one for me.
Yeah,
I
that's what I
actually
thought.
might have a. I'm trying to think if I
What
have.
if I call Zane first and see if he picks up mine? Because I doubt he'll
No, we
pick
can't-
up
we
mine.
can't call him
then
3
you,
times.
Then
That's
you
lame.
call him. Because there's no way he picks up mine.
He might. He probably. Honestly, he probably has a higher odds of picking up yours than mine.
Let's
He's like,
find
what does
out.
this guy want?
Let's
Yeah.
find out.
So I'm going first.
Yo, you're going first? Okay.
Yeah, because then he'll ignore me, and if he answers you, it's even funnier.
True. Okay.
Let's just see what happens. Here we go. I gotta
gosh.
put this close to the mic. I swear, if he doesn't answer, I'm gonna be so mad.
You're gonna be so mad when he answers Isaac's. If that happens, it'd be funny if he's recording a pod right now with Thomas.
That
Oh
would
my
be really
gosh.
funny.
Oh, he's not picking up.
This is savage. He used my face for clickbait in a video recently.
I remember. Was that the one?
No, like this week.
Oh, really? What was it for?
Serve target practice.
Oh, got him.
Bro, he didn't answer. Give him a
Okay.
ring. I will walk off this pod.
Okay. Let me. Is this the right one? I
He
feel
doesn't
like I have multiple people on my phone that are named
Named Zane?
I
Zane
do.
Pickleball?
I actually do.
But you don't have the last name?
I don't know if I have his last name in here on my phone. Hold on, let me just.
I'll show
let
you-
me just
I'll show you
make
his
sure.
number.
No, I got it. Okay.
I'm gonna have to make sure that other camera didn't see that, and I didn't just dox Zane.
Yeah. Okay, let me just double check. Yes. Okay. If he answers this, I'm
Get
gonna
it?
die laughing.
He's gonna call us back like in the middle of this,
It's gonna be great. We have to pick up.
but then he has to see who. We have to see who he calls back.
Oh,
Mm.
true.
He's probably like on the court.
Yeah.
Bro,
I
it's
don't think he's doing it. I don't think he's gonna pick up. See, my other person I was gonna like call is not necessarily famous in the pickleball world, like, but he's just a somewhat famous individual.
Person?
Yeah.
Who happens to play pickleball?
Yeah. Is Chris Humphreys.
That doesn't
Oh.
count.
Yeah, that doesn't really count.
All right, hang up. Zane was lame.
Wow,
Mm.
lame.
Are you gonna try somebody else or
Nope,
no?
we're just gonna leave it that way and see if he
yeah,
calls
sorry,
who's
back.
yours?
guys.
Who's yours?
I mean, mine was Zane. It was like Zane, Jordan
So wait-
Briones, or Kyle.
We're lame if we all had
It's
Zane.
all
Seriously,
Zane.
that's the most famous person we can
Here's
come
the
up
thing,
with?
but I haven't like gotten that many people's contact. Oh wait, I should have done James.
Ignato?
Oh yeah, wait, I have James too.
Yeah, do James.
Yeah, you have him.
Yeah, I think I have him.
Wow,
Let's see if he answers. This will be funny.
interesting. We just all start calling all these.
I have two
people?
numbers for him. I don't know which one it is.
It's I can
Is
give
it because I know you switched.
I have his new number. All right, here. You're gonna have to hold that close to the mic.
Okay.
He's gonna get a zoomed up version of your face, but we gotta be able to hear the man.
What are the odds he answers?
Nah.
No, you don't think?
I don't think so. It's also like
It's you. He's gonna answer.
no. It's also a late Sunday evening.
Not true. Well, also, what time is it for him
Oh,
in
it's-
Florida? It's probably
It's like
9 o'clock
Yeah.
or 10 o'clock.
It's no. It's only 1
No,
hour.
Is it only
it's
1
9.
hour?
Florida's only 1
No,
hour.
true. Yeah. I think in California it's 2 hours. The other
Yeah, he
direction.
ain't answering.
Nope. Dang, nobody likes us.
Well, that answers your question, guys. That
Sorry.
lets you know what the
We've-
famous
we've
people
got,
think of
we've
us.
got no one.
That's actually really funny.
Too bad none of us had like, I don't even know.
All right.
Next
We're
question.
moving on. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm just gonna. People ask this question all the time.
Yeah.
How do I hang paddles on the wall? There are these garage hooks on Amazon, which I will attempt to link in the description, but I almost guarantee you I'm gonna forget. But they're literally just garage wall hooks with 2 prongs, and they just stick out like 11 inches maybe, and it can hold 6 paddles.
Yep.
And I just screw them into the wall. And before I could screw them into a wall, because I lived in an apartment, I used 4 command strips, heavy duty, and put them on the wall, and that held it.
There you go.
So,
Simple.
Moving on.
Easy.
yeah, moving on.
Next.
The next one is, we'll come back to that one.
Oh, okay.
Well, this is an interesting one, but I don't know if any of us will really have an answer. If you could do anything differently from when you started, what would it be? And I assume that relates to content.
Yes, probably the content. I'd have to think about it. I think if I could do anything differently, I don't know if I would do anything differently. You know what? I would probably set up a system to like write like the scripts. Like I would like some of my earlier content. I don't have those scripts anywhere, and some of them I didn't script out at all. But it would have been nice to have that in a repository
Sure.
somewhere, you know. And I think just practice my writing a little bit more, like planning those things out a lot more. That's probably what I would do. Like even like the thumbnail and I guess like planning out shots and stuff like that. You know, I think it would have made my life easier from an editing standpoint.
Yeah.
Sure. I don't know. Like I'm not,
Chris was already good from the get go.
Yeah,
is what he's trying to
see,
say. His ego is not high enough to say it.
It's not. It's
okay.
not that. But I just feel like the way everything has happened, like obviously ended up in a pretty good spot, but like the only thing I can think is just being maybe more strict on like certain schedule things. Like, okay,
Yeah.
this, you need to be done with this by this date, and you're going to move on. Even if you're not where you wanted it to be, you're going to post it and move on. Maybe that.
Yeah.
But
You know, I haven't been doing this necessarily as long as you guys,
Mhm.
and I've only just been, like helping edit and do this stuff. But
this is about to be him critiquing his boss.
what no, not really. It's a critique on myself. What I would have done, because I do a lot of the preliminary editing for these videos,
Yeah.
is I would have put more clips of Chris losing points with paddles and me beating him, so he doesn't artificially
Bruh.
look better than he is.
You want to know why I don't look artificially better? Because of this guy. This guy coined me being a 3-5 for the rest of my life. It don't matter if I make a semifinal in the main draw of a PPA I will always be a 3-5.
Yeah, because then the commentators gonna be like, "Wow, a 3-5 made it into the main draw."
Anybody can
That's
win.
what I'm saying. So we don't even got to do me a disservice anymore. People, they're already like, he sucks.
You don't suck.
No,
Anyways,
not anymore.
Okay, moving on to the next one. What is your best advice for people trying to get into content creation?
Oh, easy.
Oh
Go
yeah,
for it.
I got one.
Start.
I mean, yeah.
That's just kind of
Everybody.
essentially what I was gonna say is like everyone thinks like, oh, I gotta have these fancy cameras and all these lights and I can't do this. Like, no, just use your everyone
Use your
has
phone.
phones. Phones have great cameras and just make content.
Make content. And if you want something else, like the first thing, if you need to buy something, like the mics. Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
Get good audio.
Audio is number
I like
one.
a DJI mic or DJI mic 2.
Yes.
Works
Those
great
are
with a phone.
golden.
Yeah, that. Get a tripod.
And
something to hold your phone.
If you're struggling to
make
get
it.
into it, like just and the biggest thing I would say is like at this point, and there's not that it's like there's too many because there's definitely not. Is try to like be unique, like stand out. You know, like
Yeah.
find a niche or a niche and do something.
I would almost even go one step further than that. And yes, you probably want to have like a niche that you focus on, but it also is probably not a bad idea to try a bunch of things and see what you actually like.
That too.
And you
Yeah.
kind of like, oh yeah, I'm actually kind of good at this, or people kind of liked hearing me talk about this. And then when you kind of figure that out, you try and double down on it and do it more. But the biggest piece of advice I always give to new people is if you have no video background, your first 100 videos are going to suck.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So just get them out of the way as fast as possible. And I'm not saying that means, oh, they're just going to suck, so I'm not going to try. No, you need to try and make each video better,
Mhm.
but it doesn't matter how hard you plan.
Because you're gonna learn.
You're gonna
after
learn
each one.
Every single one. I mean, look, done 100 podcast episodes. I've literally done video production for
Mhm.
my life. That camera was just off for 30 minutes. So
Yeah.
yeah, if you think more planning for your first 100 videos is going to fix it, it won't. You will run into issues, and the only way you're going to learn is by doing it.
Mhm.
If you try to make it perfect, you'll never post anything and you'll never go anywhere.
Yeah, but also know that it's like a spectrum, right, of education and entertainment. The videos that you make will fall somewhere on that spectrum, and then, like Chris said, try a lot of different things, and then you'll see where on that spectrum you kind of fall, and then kind of double down on that once you find out something that you like to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right, next one. If you if you were all being chased by the police, who would get caught first?
Not me.
Let's
Ooh.
rank this in order,
Okay.
Who's getting caught first?
and then we'll go first, second, third. So
You're
caught,
getting caught first.
Absolutely.
You're getting
No,
caught
second.
second, and then me last.
Yeah,
No.
probably.
him, me, then you.
Really?
I'm getting caught first?
Yes.
Why do you think he's getting caught
Yeah.
before
I
you?
would absolutely beat Will in a foot race.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, okay.
But
Here's
what if we're in a car chase?
No.
This is a foot race.
Okay.
Then why does that have to be a foot race?
All right, here's the thing. Okay, it's a foot race.
That's
Okay.
what the
You might-
question was intended to
you
be.
Did
might-
it say foot race?
He might have faster foot speed, but I'm also agile as well. I don't think your foot speed is not that much faster. But like, if we're in like, an urban environment, there's fences and walls and stuff. I don't know. I think I'd give me
He might
the
be fit.
advantage.
He might be fitting in smaller places
Bro,
too to hide.
We're adding way too many rules to this thing. At this point, you might as well say I can have a helicopter and fly wherever I want. This is pure foot speed, and I
Okay.
know I'm faster
Oh,
than this
okay.
guy.
Wait,
If
how
we're
do you
going-
know you're faster than me?
You think you're faster than me?
We can find out.
All right, let me see. Yeah.
Well, now we got to film a reel of who's running faster.
Problem is,
It's dark, but
Getting
we
dark
can still
now.
do it.
I would
Put it in the comments.
I would rock you in a foot race. Now, this is where I'll let my ego
The next.
shine.
Remember we had this conversation when we went to the Jordan Briones camp. Jordan was talking about, what's your number one asset or something, and you said foot speed, and then Jordan was like, really? Your foot speed?
No, my speed, but not my footwork.
Okay,
That's
your
fair.
I am
speed.
fast, but my
Yeah.
footwork and positioning.
I'll
is
give him that one.
But Jordan also was like, you think you're faster than Will? What?
100%.
I actually agree with him on
Oh
that.
yeah, we'll see. Well, I mean, you know what? I wouldn't put it past you. I've seen Chris move. I'm like, okay, that's pretty fast.
But yeah,
Yeah,
y'all, 1,000% y'all getting caught before me.
We all had different answers, but I mean, you're definitely getting caught last. I won't even deny that one.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Next one was, what paddle has the longest lasting grit? Here's the thing. Basically, it's like a tier. And I'm going to go, there's only 3 tiers in my opinion. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
There's spray on grit,
Yeah.
fastest wear out.
Yes.
Raw carbon fiber, second fastest. And then your third option is raw carbon fiber, but now you have the reload paddle and can replace it whenever you want. In my opinion, after that, well, okay, it's not entirely true. If you want to include the protons in that list, I guess there's that, but it's still like unclear where all of that's headed right now. So, okay, I'll say 4. since right now there's no new information on that, we'll say 4. Spray on, raw carbon, reload, and then something like a proton.
Yeah.
Would anyone disagree?
No, that's spot on.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, moving on. Who is the biggest nerd between us 3? Let's rank this again.
I feel like I'm in last place probably, but everybody's a nerd about something.
I was gonna say, yeah. What are we being a nerd about? Is it pickleball specific? Is it
Look,
just
come
nerd
on?
in
You don't even got to
general?
think that hard. Just nerd.
I mean, yes,
Nerd?
you're number 1. That's 1,000%. Then it's like a tie between Will and I.
in my opinion, it's me, Will, Isaac.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll give it.
You guys just all agree?
That I mean, I'm not gonna argue
I'm
with
not-
that.
yeah, I
I'm
wouldn't
not
argue with
necessarily
that.
like I'm like nerdy in the fact like with specific hobbies. Like you get me talking about
I mean, yeah,
bowling ball equipment and stuff.
That's
Like
what I'm
it
saying, yeah.
used to be my life. I could go on and on about the PAP and the center of gravity and how you drill a bowling
We're talking
ball. and,
actual nerdy things.
Yeah.
Like here's how you want to know. You want to know why I'm in first? Because for fun at like 10 p.m. in an evening, I'll be sitting on my couch with a blanket and I'll be like, I'll have 3 websites open, all split viewed, and I'm like, okay, here's my Roth IRA calculator for when I turn 60 versus if I did it at 50. And then another one that's like, okay, if I added this much to my mortgage every month, I could have the house paid
Bro,
off.
you
That's
didn't
you
even-
just adulting though.
Dude, you didn't even have to go
You-
that
how many,
far.
far.
how many adults do you actually think do those things?
There's probably none.
A very, very, it's not none,
Yeah, I know.
but it's a very small portion
Here's the
of
thing, bro.
America.
You didn't even need to go that far. You could have just mentioned the Rubik's Cube and won it.
It's
I mean, you're not wrong.
Like,
yeah.
so
You're right,
yeah,
you're right.
that's the order is definitely you first, and then Will, maybe me. We're similar-ish. I feel like.
You ready for a really hard one? Because I don't even know how I would answer this question.
Yeah.
Only one paddle for the rest of your life.
This one's so tricky. Okay, see, here's the thing. I feel like what my heart wants to say is like the Ripple because I've had so much fun recently playing with it, but I can't say that because no one enjoys playing with me when I use it. So for that
I
fact,
like playing
I'm
with you.
Yeah, when you're on his team.
Will likes being
I
on
don't
my
mind
team.
being against him. It's a
Yeah,
challenge.
it was just that one game.
Yeah.
I just what I've been using, my primary paddle, the Shogun. I love that paddle. It's like it's a great in between, and people will still play with me.
I feel like I've got 2 answers here.
Yeah.
Because I'm just thinking like, okay, I'm stuck with this thing. So like, hopefully my skill level just gets better.
Yeah.
So I would say the Ripple.
You would say the Ripple.
I would say the Ripple. And then if we're going based on like, well, it's not out yet and blah, 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 then I would feel like I would say the Paddle Tech.
Oh, really?
12.7. I
Interesting.
kind of feel like that's what I would say.
Okay, but R1 or R2?
Probably R1.
Really? Okay.
But here's my logic is I'm like, okay, I would just use a paddle that's like hard to use and eventually I would just hopefully adapt.
Right. I would probably, because I would assume that paddles in the future are just getting hotter with the trend that's going. So I have to pick the most powerful paddle. So I would either choose either the Ripple or I'll probably pick the True Foam from Carbon.
Yeah.
I mean, now that was also
Okay,
a
hold
potential
on real
option.
quick. I'm going to insert my own real quick question while we're on a similar topic. Would you rather be stuck for the rest of your life using the Franklin SDK or the Engage Pursuit Ultra?
The Ultra.
Or-
No,
Yeah,
okay.
The Ultra,
What
the-
about the Franklin SK or an Adidas paddle? Like
the first Adidas
the
paddle.
Addy Attack. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
no. That one was like, okay, what was the very first one that we
Yeah,
tested?
I would-
Whatever that one was.
I would take an SDK.
Dang.
I would take an SDK.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. I would take the SDK.
Those first ones were worse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. What about the Adidas, the first one, or the Z5?
Did it suddenly get a lot hotter in this room? Yeah, I'm sweating.
Hold on.
One of them got away.
was
Come on.
funny. I
I
don't.
I don't know.
I
It's like
I plead the fifth.
moving on. Next one is
Next question.
what are your thoughts on Franklin versus Dura versus Vulcan for competition play?
Competition play?
Yeah.
Give him the Franklin.
I'm kind of at that point too.
After having played tournaments with all three, I think tournaments are more enjoyable consistently with the Franklin.
It's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, it's just been more
At
fun.
least in the current meta of paddles.
In
Yes.
every tournament I've played, Dura versus Franklin, I've never had a Franklin break in a match at a tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Where Duras, I've had multiple Duras break in a singular match.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Vulcans just, the bounce.
I don't think
still-
that's true anymore. Though. I
Yeah,
really
I
don't.
think-
I've played with so many the new Vulcan,
The-
and it's not bad.
Yeah, the new
It's
Vulcans aren't
fine.
that bad. Yeah.
I would play with that, and it's fine. But I just think in the current meta, Franklins are just better because it's slower.
Yeah.
I would definitely still take a Franklin.
All right.
Okay.
So someone asked, Chris, you've got muffins and chomps. What are Isaac and Will's go-to?
Oh, okay. Well, when it comes to the beef sticks, it'd probably be like, what are they called? The fatties, I think. Those are another one. You get those. I used to work at REI, and that's what they sold.
Okay.
So that and honestly, anything that's sweet, like candy, donuts, cookies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give it to me.
Are we talking like tournament snack or just like go-to thing?
Just go-to
Just like,
thing.
oh man, I love beef jerky. Just like
Okay.
all kinds of beef
There you
jerky.
go.
I know that's kind of similar to like chomps or beef sticks and whatnot, or just like really quick, easy thing to cook and eat. Bro, you cannot go wrong with ramen. I love ramen, man. I
like
eat
ramen too.
so much ramen. Look, you can make ramen so good.
I mean, if it was like a really, I was thinking just like my tournament snack, but my go-to.
But yeah, it's tournament snack.
Yeah, my go-to would probably be. Oh, yours
Beef
beef jerky
for sure.
If I just go-to like whatever, probably like I don't know. I mean, it's a cop-out answer to say like pretty much all Asian food, but I would say probably maybe say tacos.
Tacos is a tournament snack?
No, not as a tournament snack.
Oh.
As like a go-to.
I
Okay.
totally blanked out. I changed my mind.
What?
Kind of side by side with beef jerky as a tournament snack.
Uh-huh.
Fruit snacks. I will
Fruit snacks are
devour
good.
fruit snacks like no one's business. Yo, if companies want to start sending me fruit snacks like they send this guy muffins, please, I will take fruit snacks of all kinds.
All right, next one. Next one up on the list is
Why are you laughing?
what's everyone's chopstick rating?
Oh, my chopstick rating? I'm probably like 5'5".
I'm 3.5. Like
Yo,
legitimately.
you aren't even 3.5
No,
because
I can use them now.
by what, stabbing the
No,
food?
no, like I can
an
actually
Amer-
use them, but it's just slow.
I wouldn't. I'm not 5'5". I'm like 4.75 to 5.0. I just ate ramen the other day with chopsticks.
There you go.
What do you think your peak skill level is?
That's such a
Ooh.
tricky one.
My peak skill level. Okay, I think.
Here's how I would answer this because
Yeah.
I would have probably slightly different answer.
Okay.
I think if I continue to do everything how I'm currently doing it,
Yeah.
which is like paddle reviews in this business are my primary focus for pickleball,
Okay.
I feel like my peak is probably somewhere around like a 5.5 range.
Mm.
But I think if
For dubs, I'm assuming.
for doubles, yeah.
Okay.
And I think if I didn't do it, I think it could be higher. I don't think that means I'd ever be like a main draw pro, but I feel like my approach to everything would just be so different because my focus isn't really ever like,
Yeah.
I'm on the court to like get good.
Get good.
Like,
Yeah.
that happens, but not often.
Often. Right.
I think for me, like I've already seen my peak play at the moment at like 5.5, maybe slightly above. Like when I play with Will in Texas and some other times I've played and with certain people I know that are either at that level or above. And I think my peak that I think I can get to and play consistently is probably like a little under 6.0 or around 6.0 is where I think I could get
Yeah.
my
I
peak play.
think my peak play would probably be like 5.7 maybe. But really, like when I go and play, I never think about like my peak. I think about my floor. I'm like, how do I get my floor closer to?
Fair
your
enough.
peak.
Yeah, I want that
close
gap.
that gap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want that gap to be as minimal as possible. I'm actually pretty happy with my play right now. Honestly, and where I'm playing, I don't care too much to get better, even though I do. But really, I just want my worst days to be like so much better that it's closer to my best days.
No,
That's
that-
really what I want.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Nope. I think that's a good one. All right. Let's see here. No, we've kind of already covered that one. Let's see. We'll do two more.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the most fun you've ever had on a pickleball court?
You guys have one already in mind?
I
haven't thought about this.
it's really tricky because I feel like there's probably a lot of moments and a lot that I'm like completely blanking
Right. There's
on.
a lot of recency bias. Right?
Yes, exactly. And one of mine is more recent.
Will and I the other day played.
That was pretty.
That
up
was like Will and I were having so much fun.
Way that's in your top.
I've
know
never
if
giggled and laughed so
we had
much
some
on
really
a
good
court.
points
Like,
though.
yeah,
We did. Honestly, I think the most fun might be honestly when I played with you guys. That first meeting I had with you guys, that was fun because that
Yeah.
was
That's
obviously
a messed up answer.
yeah, because first of all I dominated you guys, but also it was like it felt like the Renaissance era of pickleball. You met new friends. I never met somebody like online in real life, and then we were just vibing. I think that was.
I thought
That's
you were
pretty
going to say it was
when I beat you.
No.
What?
Duper, Texas.
Duper Texas.
Duper,
Oh,
Texas.
that's probably the worst.
That probably
That's
was
your
the
low.
worst. That was
Yeah.
actually that probably is one
I
of the
think that's-
lower lows for me.
Yeah, same.
I'm not exactly positive. Again, I'm probably missing. I've just had so many good trips with like friends, but
Okay.
all of them involve traveling somewhere. Like I really enjoyed my time in California last year with some like local friends when we went.
Yeah, California.
And I
was
also
fun.
and again, California, I really liked after the Newport tournament, after I played like absolute garbage and probably was going to have a pickleball crisis. Just some rec play that we had after the tournament. People were like, we were at dinner and someone was like, Nam, I think was like, who wants to play pickleball? And people were like, and everyone was suddenly like, okay, let's do it. That was a blast.
Okay,
So much fun. So much like that was somewhere in there.
gotcha.
That was really fun.
Well, now that you mention it, yeah, if you traveled somewhere, so you're in a new place. So for me, yeah, when I traveled to you guys and I played with you guys, that was fun. But also, I think, all right, last winter when I went back home and I got to play with my family, and they all kind of like gotten better and good, and to see them, and I recorded and watching my dad play and my aunts and my brother, we're all kind of like competing. Like that was actually a lot of fun. Like,
Yeah.
seeing that was really cool.
How about you?
Yeah, I mean, traveling and like legitimately, I think some of the most fun I've had playing a court is like when Will and I have played together, traveling in some places. Like we just like it's because
You two need a room. My gosh.
Look, no, but here's the thing. What's funny is like I always feel like I play better when I play with Will. I think I've played some of my best pickleball ever with Will, and
Same.
when it's rec and I play with him, I'm playing good and doing silly things, and
it's
it makes
working.
me laugh, and
It's
it
so
works,
funny.
and it's just like it's really fun. But like
pickleball's
I don't know,
awesome.
there's like some local times here where we're just like screwing around.
Oh.
Oh, actually, no, I've got it. We were playing one of our friends' places, private court, our lefty games.
Yeah, those are fun.
Some of the most fun I've ever had.
Yeah, that was fun.
I guess, yeah, when we went to Vegas and we played with John
Yeah.
and
Yes.
Braden,
Yeah.
that was
On
fun.
Vegas,
in
lefty?
Vegas, yeah, all of
That's
us.
up
That's
there.
I think some of the times we played lefty now are some of the most fun I've had playing pickleball.
Yes.
Yeah,
What
I'd
about that
agree.
time in the tournament? Was it you who lobbed Chris until like he lost or something?
Bro.
Oh yeah, that was pretty fun
Bro, we had
too.
to bring that up twice on
That
the
was-
100th episode.
That was pretty good, yeah. A lot of fun.
I'm about to cut you both out of this pod. I'm about to go record a solo 100 solo. Forget this. Oh my god.
But yeah, those I mean the lefty or like I just always have a good time when I'm playing with Will.
All right, let's go.
My favorite pickleball memory is when both of you go home after this podcast. You want to know why you guys have so much fun playing together? Because the whole time you guys are just, man, we're the best pickleball players ever. We're the best content creators. We've influenced and changed the pickleball market.
Hey, well, I never said that about
Content wouldn't be where it is without us. That's what you two sound
let me
like
just
together.
say,
you guys just
when
amp
I
each
was
other up, and you just
when I had the big ego moment, I wasn't even about myself because I know I've had zero influence on anything in pickleball. I was amping you up. Okay? It's not about me. It's not about me.
yeah, whatever you two say.
But this guy, he's a whole nother thing.
Go get a room. Well, this camera's totally about to die. So, any wrap up stuff you guys got?
Man.
Nah, man, we love pickleball. We love you
Just-
guys.
Yeah,
It's
thank
been
you.
awesome.
Thank you so much for like watching and supporting us. And like, again, also, actually, what I'll say is the most fun I have is when I go out of town and travel and I get to meet you guys
Yeah.
and chat and talk, and people
That-
come up to us and say like, "Hey, I love your content." That is what brings me joy and so much fun meeting new people on trips. That's the most fun.
I agree. That's
Yes.
up there for sure.
For sure. No, same for me. Super grateful.
yeah.
That we've had this opportunity, that we've had this journey and this experience.
Yeah. So thank you to all you guys, and then thank you to the brands that are helping us with this giveaway and all that stuff. So it's just like, man, it's just I never would have imagined. any
Yeah.
of this.
It's crazy. We are unbelievably grateful for all you guys. I mean, I'm not even kidding. I'm not even saying this like in a exaggerated way, but like sometimes I can't believe that people listen to this every single week and
Looking
don't
forward
just
to it.
and that and aren't like these guys are morons. I mean, there probably are those people too, but like
100%.
but like genuinely, I'm just like that is crazy. And like
Yeah.
I don't know, I feel very blessed, very grateful. Like it's cool, and I'm looking forward to another
100 episodes.
Dude, I know, right?
Or
On to another.
again for the,
The
200.
next milestone.
1,000.
Yeah,
Oh,
900
gosh.
more, baby.
No,
Cheers,
no, we have to
cheers
do-
to another 900.
We have to do a special one for like 350 or something.
Oh
3.5.
man, I'm out.
He's walking off.
This podcast is closed.
All right, and now on the Will and Isaac podcast.
Hey.
Get a room. Catch you guys
All right,
later.
we'll see you later, guys.